से हाथ तेरा ये छूटे ना।
साथी तेरा प्यार पूजा है,
तेरे सिवा कौन मेरा दूजा है यार।
ओ साथी हो
मितवा हो, साथी तेरा प्यार पूजा है, तेरे सिवा कौन मेरा दूजा है यार।
तुमसे मिलना बातें करना बड़ा अच्छा लगता है। तुमसे मिलना बातें करना बड़ा अच्छा लगता है। क्या है ये, क्यों है ये, क्या खबर, हाँ मगर जो भी है बड़ा अच्छा लगता है।
तुमसे मिलना बातें करना बड़ा अच्छा लगता है। क्या है ये, क्यों है ये, क्या खबर, हाँ मगर जो भी है बड़ा अच्छा लगता है। तुमसे मिलना बातें करना बड़ा अच्छा लगता है।
तेरी छोटी छोटी बात, तेरी हर एक मुलाकात तड़पाए मुझको। लम्हा लम्हा तेरा साथ, लम्हा लम्हा तेरा साथ। क्या है ये, क्यों है ये, क्या खबर, हाँ मगर जो भी है बड़ा अच्छा लगता है। तुमसे मिलना बातें करना बड़ा अच्छा लगता है।
Time has come. New 97.5. Make it your choice. Something for everyone. 97.5 FM. Music for you. It's all about you.
U97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper, Multicultural Radio.
Power to the listeners.
This is your 3 p.m. news update on U975 FM Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. I am Sharon Balrup. Good afternoon. The hunt is now on for approximately 150 Venezuelan nationals who are believed to have entered the country illegally. U975 FM understands that the search has been on since Tuesday. Another group of nationals are to return to this country today. This was revealed by National Security Minister Stuart Young. He was speaking at today's media briefing. Trinidad and Tobago could see a return of its once thriving sugar manufacturing business. This is according to United National Congress leader Kamla Persad-Bissassa. She promised that her party will revive the sugar industry in TNT with the establishment of the Usine St. Martin sugar manufacturing facility. The promise is one of the UNC's 12 major prosperity engines intended to tackle neglect and abandonment of rural and poor urban communities. These are some of the stories making news at this time on U975 FM, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. Look out for more of these and other stories in our major news at 4 p.m. Good afternoon.
Visit Eddie's Pharmacies Limited newest location inside JTA Supermarket C3 Center, Current Village, San Fernando. They offer blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol and pregnancy testing, as well as all pharmaceutical products and over-the-counter drugs, along with CDAP prescriptions. Sagicor Carry Care International Medical Card, Guardian Life Provider Card and Republic Bank points are all accepted at their 3 locations of Eddie's Pharmacy Limited. RS Building, Rosha Douglas Road, Barrackpore, GN Building in Pinal, and C3 Center, Current Village, San Fernando.
KY's Electrical Supplies Limited of Southern Main Road, Cunupia, for all your plumbing and electrical supplies, water heaters, filters and water pumps, plus all parts for Gould, Pentax and Leo pumps. Choose from leading brands such as Cooper, Varma, BTCino, Leviton and General Electric. Call 665-6954 for more information. KY's Electrical Supplies Limited of Southern Main Road, Cunupia.
It is back. Talk Your Talk is back. This is Mukesh Baburam inviting you to join me right here on U975 FM for the return of Talk Your Talk from 6 to 9 p.m. Enjoy your favorite segments and feel free to make your comments as we journey together. So join me, Mukesh Baburam, for Talk Your Talk.
Join us on the journey to the polls. Find out about the candidates, the campaigns, the promises, and much more. You can now listen to your daily dose of politics, Mondays to Fridays at 1 p.m. right here on U97.5, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio.
The following is a paid political announcement.
This ad brought to you by the PNM.
PNM is the choice, PNM is the voice, PNM only way on election day is the right choice at the right time. Hands in the air for the police, hey.
On August 10th, vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
That was a paid political announcement.
Kathy's Cool Spot Enterprises Limited, number 86 Pearville, opposite the TSTT Exchange in Mayaro. We specialize in all types of meats, dry goods, liqueur, beverages, ice, LPG, gas, motor oils, stationery supplies, and photocopying. We also provide rentals of tents and chairs for your every occasion. Come in and take advantage of our specials at reduced prices on liqueur, wholesale, and retail. We are open every day, even on public holidays, for your convenience. TT Post services are available here at Kathy's Cool Spot Enterprises Limited of number 86 Pearville, Mayaro, where our friendly staff will be happy to serve you.
KY's Electrical Supplies Limited of Southern Main Road, Cunupia, for all your plumbing and electrical supplies, water heaters, filters and water pumps, plus all parts for Gould, Pentax and Leo pumps. Choose from leading brands such as Cooper, Varma, BTCino, Leviton and General Electric. Call 665-6954 for more information. KY's Electrical Supplies Limited of Southern Main Road, Cunupia.
Puzzle lovers, rejoice! Your free 24-page Newsday puzzle book is now available twice a week, only in your Trinidad and Tobago Newsday. Now you really can look forward to staying home. Newsday, independent and credible.
Minutes after the top of the hour here, broadcasting live from Couva Central, Trinidad, the energy capital for the Caribbean. Exchange lots to be exact in Couva, U975 FM, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio, and it's time for Politics 2020. That's right, it's time for you to have your say and to get in on the program. Just like the virus have come roaring back, the financial implications for COVID-19 is just hitting the government of the day. Whether government bailouts were being bandied about, that is left to be seen. That is for you, the voter, to decide on August 10th. That's right, August 10th is general elections. We are discussing elections, among other things. Are things beginning to spin out of control as yet? Even worse, what is the unemployment rate in Trinidad and Tobago? Now that COVID-19 have sunk in, I understand today after discussing, Nicole, welcome to the program, after discussing this issue about COVID-19 with a businessman who has several businesses in Point Lisas. You know, he said they learn to operate with less employees under COVID-19.
Yes, a lot of businesses
and they don't see why they can't continue doing so.
Yes.
Which has a negative impact.
Of course.
There are people with Prados, with food cards, people with Prados swiping food cards at JTA now, you know.
Wow.
Because, yes, they have big Prados because they had big jobs and now they are unemployed. People thought that their jobs were safe and now they have found themselves unemployed. And that doesn't even touch where we stand with the stock market, but I'll leave that part of the discussion when Ved Siram will be joining me in studio live from just about 4:45 p.m. I see your calls already coming in. I had expected to interview the People's National Movement candidate for St. Augustine, but right now I'm not getting through to her. Hopefully I should get through before the program is up. That is Renuka Sagram Singh Suklal. I hope to get through to her before the afternoon is up. How is your day going so far, Nicole? I see you're very busy in the newsroom.
Very much so. It has been going good. Lots of news, a lot of things happening.
Lots of things changing.
Yes.
And, you know, you and I would have worked through several election campaigns.
Yes.
So we have become accustomed to this, to the changes
and the fast
that
pace
happen
of how
all
it happens.
the time. Yes, the changes and the fast pace that you have to move. When you go home and lie down at night, you say, oh my God, thank God you're
Sometimes
there.
you can't even sleep because you're wondering what's going to happen next.
You
and you always want to be on top of the game.
You're planning in your mind for the next day. Yes. You know, I was looking at some of Dr. Rowley's 2020 campaign promise when he had won election in 2015. And since 2015, he had promised us a local government reform. Well, we have been hearing that a while now. Since under Patrick Manning, you would remember that Minister of Local Government, Rennie Dumas, he had promised us local government reform. We still does not have local government reform. And if the local government cannot reach to the people, how is the Member of Parliament going to reach to them? Campaign finance reform is another thing that we were promised, and we are not seeing that. And whichever party is in power, I always say that they make promises, they make a bundle of promises, And it is up to you, the voter, to decide. If you want to get in on the program, you can call us on 636-7547, 2275739, like this caller here.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to Anne and good afternoon to Nicole.
Good afternoon to you.
Breaking news, 150 of them are loose in Trinidad.
Yes.
And I thought our borders were closed.
Yes, that's right. They are looking
right?
for them.
So then I can safely say, I am calling upon the Minister of National Security and all his team members who are supposed to be guarding the borders of this country to step down from the position that they hold. Because it's a blatant lie to tell the population that the borders are closed when you have people coming in who may have the virus, we don't know.
Larry, between you and I, do you think that Minister of National Security, with all the calls, would step down at this point in time?
Well, you see, you have to bring shame to his name. Because if you are in office and you hold one of the highest offices in the country to protect the borders of this country, to protect the citizens of this country, and you have people coming from a different country illegally, and then you take one day later to tell the population that 150 Venezuelans came to this country through the back door, undetected, undocumented, and they are running loose in this country, man, I will say send back every one of them back to their homeland. You know why I say that today, Anne? Our own citizens in this country who are living abroad, who went away for a little vacation, 3 months vacation, crying to come home. But you know what? As I said it before on Kenrick program, I spoke to a police officer just up to last week where they had made an arrest of some Venezuelans who came to this country. And when they call along the RTV vehicles to get them to Chagaramas, they give them the papers to walk the country. So then what really going on? We are hearing planes flying in this country with people and their dog and stuff. So human life don't matter anymore in this country. So you see when we have 150 coming behind the back door, and they take one entire day, 24 hours to break news to this country, these people maybe already have their hiding spot. And Trinbagonians in this country, you are encouraging the slackness. So when you see crime increase, don't call the police. You have to deal with it on you because you encouraging the Trinbagonian citizens who are encouraging Venezuelans to come here through the back door. Whatever happened to them, don't feel sorry. Have a pleasant day.
Thank you. Hello, good afternoon and welcome.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I want to be very calm because your last caller could make my blood pressure go up, but I want to be very calm.
You need to boil some sapodilla leaf.
You see, he was living in this country when Kamla Persad-Bissessar told the country that Manning was dotish and stupid, that crime is not taking place on sea, it's taking place on land, and we don't need any OPVs. The OPVs were floating security fortresses. They stay out there. They had the ability to detect what is passing under the water, what is running on the surface, and what is flying in the sky. They had fast launch patrol boats on them, and they had an armed helicopter on them. They were out there to protect our borders. And Kamla Persad-Bissessar sent them back. She said that we don't need any OPVs. Crime is not taking place on sea, it's taking place on land. Tell the 7 dead Orange Valley fishermen relatives that. Now I'm saying to you again, this government has gone cap in hand to the Australian government, gotten a loan to put 2 Cape-class vessels out on the sea. Wade Mark is running all over the country saying corruption. They're in corruption with the Australian government. Now that is the precursor for them to send it back if they win. Because they don't want any protection in the high seas for reasons best known to them. And I'm saying to you, so those who are calling me and ball about they're protecting border, tell that to Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Don't tell it to me. Have a nice evening.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon and welcome.
To Mr. Eric, I don't belong to any political party. Let me just start my conversation with you like this. You belong to a party. You will do everything in your power to defend your party. Your government, the PNM government, is in office today. They have a right to protect this country, this amount of citizens that is paying taxes living here by the laws of the land. Don't tell me about Kamla this and Kamla that. At the end of the day, she was voted out of office for whatever she did. You all put in Dr. Rowley and his team. 4 years going in 5 years, and these borders are still not protected. I don't want to hear about the government that went to Australia to purchase OPVs or vessels or whatever. We have Coast Guard vehicles in this country. They're sitting on the Chagaramas rocking. Why don't the Minister of National Security get some of these boats running until the other boats that the government orders coming to protect the borders? And we just talk about the borders of the seas. We talk about the borders of the plains as yet. So don't tell me about the last government and they shut down the OPVs and whatever. When this government was elected into office, they talk about transparency and accountability. Let me remind you, Mr. Eric. So don't come crying at your blood pressure already because I raised it. And I'm glad when you tell me your blood pressure is because I am one person who will stand up and fight with any politician and tell them the eye black. You know why? I don't dance on nobody's drum beat.
Okay, thank you, Larry. Thank you for your calls. We have other calls. Listeners, you can WhatsApp us your message on 378. That's 378-4975. 378-4975. Hello, good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yes, welcome.
Well, if we have so much 100 and something Venezuelan coming in, you think them people coming here like yes?
Do you really believe a Nicole and Cola is just 100 and something Venezuelan?
Well, they said there are approximately 150 that they're searching for, but they have already held 8 of them, and they were taken to the heliports in Chaguaramas for testing, and they will be quarantined.
Well, to make things look
that
good.
Sounds like a hey diddle story.
To make things look good for Stuart Young, they already sketch eat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they give you that a whole.
Yes.
Yeah, they're looking to that.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot understand. These people know where they're going, you know. When they come here. I was talking, I was buying fish from a guy and he said me from Monjablo, right? And he see. I said, what about the Venezuelan coming to Monjablo? He said, they can't stop that. He said, they come in every day. Now he's a fisherman. He ain't going on the sea, but he buying and selling fish. And that happened down there by Monjablo. What about the other places? What
There
about
are
the
over
other
150
places?
open ports of entry.
I cannot understand this. If you can't do it, protect the border. Resign. Resign because a plane, a small plane, not an engine plane, a good English plane, could patrol. Let me say I have 3 of them, could do this island in an hour. I can't see how they can find this. And we have so much graduate people, major and general and all kind of things. And where they are.
Okay, call us back. We have to accommodate other calls on the lines. We also have a WhatsApp number where you can type in your comments on 378-4975. Good afternoon, welcome.
And good afternoon to you and the next Adia.
Nicole.
Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
To my good friend Eric, you know, I remember his leader say the people in this country stupid enough. And I don't understand, Eric, because if your party didn't build a new airport and the UNC come and see to build a new airport, that is where you call government supposed to do better for the country, or at least uplift the country. You cannot blame the UNC and the Manning administration because he wanted to bring the OPVs and so forth, and blame game. You tell the people in 2015 that you come to do it better and you will secure the people in this country, and your leader, instead of you telling the people 4 or 5 years now that what he accomplished, he telling them he built a building in Port of Spain, a renovated building in Port of Spain since 1904 or something. So you understand? That is the legacy. They're putting the resources of the country, taxpayers' money, into the wrong way. You understand? And when you're telling them something and you're correcting them, they're still blaming UNC. I want to tell them something. You understand? The UNC going to get back in power. And when the UNC get back in power, you will see, because you have a manifesto, Mr. Rowley, and you cannot tell the people one out of a manifesto in 2015 what you accomplished.
Thank you, Bank Village. Nicola, I say every party does that. Every political party.
Yes.
They have manifestos. They publish it. How many of them upkeep their manifestos? I can point out many promises where the People's Partnership have made and they have not upkept it. Hello, good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yes, welcome, ma'am.
This is Triple D.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Triple D. David,
Yes.
Diamond, and
Diamond,
Duncan.
have it clean. Diamond,
Yes.
Duncan, Dede.
Yes. Go ahead.
These Venezuelans come illegally down here, right? Some
Obviously,
come in back,
yes.
some come side door, some
Yes,
come all
through the
out
back
that
door.
door. But they want to go back illegally? What madness is this? Okay, I'll listen a lot.
Okay, yes, we have, Nicole, more than 150 of them. Everywhere you go, you see them in batches.
Definitely. And just for the benefits of the listeners, at this point, they're actually launching the Petrochin land distribution, and I'm actually seeing the Minister of Energy and Energy Affairs, Mr. Franklin Khan, addressing the gathering at the moment. I guess a little later in the...
We have been quite silent for a while now.
Yes.
Franklin Khan. Hello, good afternoon, welcome.
But the People's Partnership, they accomplished at least 90% of the promise to the people. So what the Rowley administration accomplished? Nothing. And now they want to play the giving out land. I was going to talk about that, but you cut me now. Now they want to give out land
Well,
to
we
the people.
have to accommodate everyone. You have to make your point very quickly.
And they're fooling the people. Because when the People's Partnership was giving out keys, right, to people, they say there's a plot to win election. Is that they're fooling the people. Who now is fooling the people?
Well, Mr. Bank Village, I say, quite frankly, and I hold no bones for any political party. No political party is paying me. I'm a journalist. I'm saying that, and I have been covering elections for 21 years now. I'm saying that every political party does the same thing. They make promises.
That's right.
To the people, and they don't uphold their promises.
Never.
From the moment they get into power, they forget the small man.
That's right.
I was very much involved internally with the United National Congress and the People's Partnership, and I've witnessed that. And that led me to come out of it.
Yes, yes. I know you got a first-hand experience of
Yes,
what it was like.
live.
Yes.
Live, and I was Jack Warner, press secretary.
Right.
And I see how, not him,
yes,
but the party in general,
yes,
how they forget their promises. If I was Mistress Kamla Prasad Bisesa, one of the very first things I would have done was to ensure that ex-Caroni workers get their
right.
land.
And as you mentioned, Jack Warner, it's unconfirmed. It has not been confirmed, but I actually got a
Rumors,
message.
yes, who is bantering
that
about.
He is of his intentions, his alleged intentions to contest as the Chaguanas
West constituency.
Yes.
Mr. Warner, you should.
He was loved.
He
in
was
Chaguanas
well
West.
loved.
Yes.
Well
As a matter
loved.
of fact, he was loved as a minister of
He
government
was
as
loved
well.
as a minister, as a member of parliament,
Yes, he was.
as the chairman of the party.
That's right.
He was well liked and well loved
Yes.
and embraced
Very
because
much
you
so.
know why he came down to as a humble man.
Very much so.
He could have spoken to the smallest child, to the poorest man.
Yes.
Hello, good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies.
Good
And
afternoon.
I'm very happy of what you just said there about giving the county people the land and the money.
Yes, I always
First thing.
rally for that.
First thing on the agenda should be that. And then
Seeing that the base and the base and bulk of the UNC were ex-Caroni workers.
This is what I
They
say.
should have attended to your own house first, wet your own house before you
Yeah.
look at your neighbor one.
Clean up your own backyard before you tell me to clean up mine, man.
Right, before you watch your neighbor house on fire, wet yours.
And another one, they said pension at 60 years, and then they say, well, a misprint, right? But when we talking, they say, we against our own party and this kind of thing. But I wish Jack Warner was in that era where I could have voted for him if he really contested this. Thank you, Thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you. Well, there's rumor bantering about today that he may contest the Chaguanas West constituency. Hello, good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We have a problem with anything with Hindu. Hindu meaning Indian. We have a problem with the cane farming community, to which a part I belong. And on the other side, you have the cane workers union, the cane sugar workers. Now, Vasa Upande, Kamla Prasad Bisesa. They could have done fix this problem long time. When they asked why Basil Panda didn't jump up when he was in position, sir, right, well, again, all your land and whatnot. And they showed me Indian brothers some love. And when the Europeans send their money here, that was no part of the taxpayers' money, you know. That disappeared too. That was under Kamla Prasad Misesa, who was the Prime Minister then. And these people now, they want you to vote for them? No. I wish Kamla was in my area. They cost you every day when I look for you going to walk around. And cost you every day as a Prime Minister. Brothers and sisters, forgive me. No, forgive me now. It's apart on top of your head. Thank you.
Thank you. 636-7547, 227-5739 if you wish to get into the program and have your say. Also, you can WhatsApp us on 378-4975. That's 378-4975, like this caller here. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Good evening. Who was in there to I hear Miss Anne was Miss Nicole?
Yes.
Yes, I am.
Good evening, Mrs. Nicole. I special good evening
afternoon. Thank you very much.
Miss Anne, you getting a good evening second. I hope you're jealous, right?
Not at all.
You know, this morning, Mr. Faud Abaka we didn't get time to call back after Mr. Connect for the interview.
Yes.
And what he was saying, he was complaining about money now with the election, right?
Yes.
And I know what I want to say is, if you could remember, right, do your research. Between the money to contest the election, right, the deposit was $500, right? And during, I think, I could be stamp action, but I think during Mr. Pandey reign from 95 to 2001, that money was raised. I don't know, it was raised from 500 to 5,000. And I don't know what was the criteria was used to raise it. So it's such a big rise at one time, right? So I think that need to be there. The guy think that is over high. In order, in fairness of democracy, that money is too much money because, I mean, if an independent want to go, but look at this party, $205,000 each party had to raise to pay down for the candidates to contest. So during his tenure,
yes, it is 5,000.
Yes.
Right, no, but during his tenure, it was raised. I don't know what were the criteria used in those days. At that point in time, remember the country was not as vocal. I didn't have all these calling programs that have now.
Well, you had too many small programs by the wayside, fly-by-night programs. Parties being formed.
I wouldn't
you
say
wouldn't say so? Yes, I will. One day I will print and bring a list for you of all the fly-by-night parties that they have.
Right, but besides that, right, I think do a research on how that money, what criteria used to raise that money in those days. Maybe we could do that on maybe a program lower down, maybe tomorrow or sometime next week.
Okay, well, look into it. 636-7547. 227-5739. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Anne. To Billy again. Your last caller, apparently, maybe forget. But the deposit to the election is $5,000 since about 20 years back. Or more. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes, I will do some research into it. But 5,000 I don't think is unreasonable. Nicole, if you want to campaign and go up as a member of parliament, which is an important position, you should be able to pay that amount.
Yes.
We have too many parties being formed. I had a list from 1976 until now how hundreds of parties were formed.
Yes.
And they just fall by the wayside.
That's right.
Print banners. Actually, just a while ago, I was writing an article on how does campaigning benefit the economy. You know, all the things they go to print, banners and T-shirts, and how the small man can make a dollar.
Now they're doing face masks, and have you seen them?
No, I have not.
Yes. I saw the People's National Movement and the United National Congress. They have face masks. Yes, customized with their symbols.
Wow. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This is from Mr. Jack Warner. Mr. Jack Warner, I apologize for my people, the Indo people, to you for the way they treat you. Like a makaram. You understand what I mean? Jack, you try to open people's eyes and you really see now what Indian people give. That same Kamla Bisesa, I heard you rate her so, she rated you so high And in the end, what they say? They turn on you and they tell you, go to America and face your problem first. And right within the same UNC party, they had people do worse than you. So, Jack, please, I apologize to you. They wouldn't come out and tell you that. There's one particular minister who is responsible for a lot of corruption in the housing thing. I don't know why she reappoints him to fight that seat. He shouldn't be there. The man have money to burn, like they say. Why you want to be in the party? Resign and get out of there. You're causing a lot of friction. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. 636-7547. Before we go for a commercial break, if you wish to get in, you can call now. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yes, you're live on the air.
Okay, Miss Ann and the other.
Nicole, yes.
Miss Nicole. Yeah, good afternoon to you all. I listen to the program, and as a person, I like, well, you must have criticism coming from various people. But some of the criticism, I think, uncalled for, with somebody want to hit the opposition leader or something like that. These things is not necessary at the moment, and we could leave these things out of the
Well, I don't think they actually virtually want to hit her. I think the uncertainty of the campaign have them saying those words.
Yeah, but it's not good. It's not good for the airways, right? I mean, in a time like this, where you have a lot of thin skin and ignorant people.
Where have you seen a political campaign being conducted and you don't have these kind of expressions?
Yeah, it will. It will.
It will.
Yeah, I think now is not the time for it, man. We have to go in a more positive direction.
When there's battleship involved for leadership for the soul of the nation, this will happen.
Yeah, I
Even
agree.
in the United States, I am seeing this is happening.
Yeah, it's happening.
With Joe Biden and Donald Trump.
Yeah, but it don't go all well for the country. You know, think they could do better than that.
Okay,
from my
thank you.
standpoint.
Thank you, caller. 636-7547 227-5739. Nicole, you were doing some research today, so you see Mr. Warner wants to contest Chaguanas West.
Actually, I was excited with that when I saw it, and I'm hoping that it...
You got me all raveled up about
you
it.
probably would have been excited too.
Yes, I worked
know,
closely with him in that constituency.
During my time at another media house, I spent a lot of time with him. So, yeah, and actually worked with him at his media house as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome.
It is I again. I come to defend this Zappa talk.
Yes, go ahead.
That is just a figure of speech.
That is what I'm telling the gentleman.
No. He seems to be very perfect in everything he does. It does sound good. This is politics. And now, all the dirty things we hear going to come out. So, sir, sit back in your armchair and enjoy the show. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yes, you were talking about Mr. Warner there.
Warner.
You know, no wonder about 2 weeks ago, I asked him to come on for an interview, and he said, give me a couple of days. I think he was making up his mind.
Yes.
Let's hear this caller. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you ladies there.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
I want Mr. Warner to come in Chaguanas East. Yeah, and then the mayor stay there and do a good work in the office. Then them come up here in the East, man. He come up here too. Them come in the East, man. Yeah.
Okay.
The only politician you can meet on the road and talk to.
I'm sure he's listening.
Yes.
I'm sure he's listening. Mr. Jack Warner, you're being called Chaguanas East and Chaguanas West.
And we have to pay very close attention to what's happening in Couva North.
Yes.
Because this morning, again, another set of constituents, they had a protest. That those are the fishermen at the Orange Valley Market. Yes. They are protesting. They are also calling for the reinstatement of Ramona Ramdale as the candidate for the area.
Yes, Ravi Ratinram.
Yes.
He is little known, except for his name, his presence, and what he have actually done for the residents. It is little known.
So do you think that with her not being there, are they going to swing in
Would
the
there
opposite
be, well,
direction?
Seeing that seat in particular have been a traditional UNC seat.
Yes.
Is left to be seen.
Well, yeah.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome.
Hello, good afternoon.
You are live on the air.
Yeah, I just heard that you all said that Mr. Warner wanted to come back and fight the Chaguanas
West.
Chaguanas West.
As an independent, yes.
Yeah, but what will happen there, right, is that it make it easier for the PNM. PNM would win it now. That's all. It make it easier for PNM. Warner would lose and the UNC candidate will lose. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't think Mr. Warner would lose, in my opinion. He is well loved in that constituency.
Very much so. His office used to be filled to capacity, yeah?
He used to see people up to 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yes.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This hullabaloo with Ramona Randial. When those fishermen in Orange Valley got wiped out, where was she? She's the rep for the area. It take the crime watch house so many days and to get gas funding for those people to go. But all of a sudden she show up and I hear she giving a little press thing saying, yes, we gave them money to get gas. And did you do that, Ramona? That is why one of the reasons was not reappointed. People don't forget. Thank you.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you. But she actually raised the issue in Parliament, and she would have issued several press releases during that time. She would have spoken to the media.
She was supportive of the
she
families.
Was very much
she
so.
was vociferous when the men had disappeared, and she tried to make representation in Parliament, but it was rejected.
Yes.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The few people who have protested so far to bring back Ramona, they said that she was with them. They said that.
Yes.
They said that. So you know what? That is getting straight from the horse's mouth. Thank you.
Thank
you. But you are hearing two sides of the story, Nicole.
Yes.
You are hearing some people. You are seeing part of her executive who is working with Ravi Ratiram is saying that she is nowhere around. And those are the people who worked in the constituency office with her and wants her back. So you're hearing two sides of the coin. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good evening again. Ms. Ramdia Ramona, she served the constituency for 10 years.
Yes.
2 terms.
2 terms,
Right.
yes.
I think in my second term, I should be saying somebody to take over. I think 10 years is enough to serve a constituency, man. And work
But bear in mind, she's also a young candidate, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, we should have a good transition, man. I know you have to move up and say you can't move up or move to somewhere that higher ground, man. I mean, in the party itself. That's my personal view. Right.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Nicole, she's just about 46? She's
I'm
very
not
young.
sure,
She's
but
in
I know
her
she's
40s,
young, yeah.
She is a young candidate. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ladies.
Good afternoon.
Now, I hear this Commissioner of Police, I already see it in the media, in the daily papers. There's going to be a strong or a heavy, let me put it this way, police presence for the election day.
That's right.
For what? I don't know for what, Gary. I don't know anybody ever riot on an election day.
Well, you never could tell what could happen.
That's
Did you ever predict Trinidad would go through COVID-19?
No,
you
I
never know.
No, well, I could put my hand and give you a hatchet on a block. Nothing won't happen. You know that. They're just trying to buff up themselves. Nothing won't happen.
You are saying the commissioner trying to praise himself?
Yeah, that's right. He just want to be on the news. Police presence for what? To make sure when he vote? And nobody will tell you when he don't come in here, they send a heavy presence. They say, look, I have ID card since last year, Stuart, get them ID card, they can vote. That's what he's sending the police there for.
All right, listen
because
up.
I born and grew in Samoa in 1976. 76 or 71.
There have never been any riot.
No, and what I'm trying to tell you is, you have to come with your ID card to vote, right? In the Vedic school in Samoa. You're hearing footsteps walking on the polling station downstairs and footsteps walking in school upstairs because that police there to give trouble. I know about that because men come there to vote, men and women, with pink slip for your ID card, and you had to have ID card to vote. So if they give the Benny's this ID card, they could vote. And if you say, hello, no, look, come here, that is why the heavy presence for police for, to make sure they get to vote. Because I hear on your station this morning, people calling and saying, somebody down in South who going up for election, PNM, somebody PNM people tell you, all I vote for me. So you see, that's why they have the police to protect them. I don't understand. He should know better. But he is in the military long time, and now he's in the police. He don't know nothing to happen here in Trinidad for the COVID thing. This hullabaloo they make it still with this COVID thing on the TV. That is political. That's a political football now. It have no COVID in Trinidad and Tobago. The 100 and something we have here, and it's foreign. It's where they come here with. But that's done. We don't have nothing here. Have a nice day, Gil.
Thank you. Nicole, I'll let you answer about Gary. I know you feel passionate about Gary.
Actually, I wanted to answer about the Venezuelans because as far as I know, that card is just a temporary card that they were granted. It was for a period
Paula,
of
just
6
hold a
months.
minute.
It was for a period of 6 months, and they cannot vote with that. They don't have a Trinidad. There's not a Trinidad and Tobago
ID card.
Exactly. So I don't understand where this caller got that information from, but sir, they cannot vote with that card.
Okay, good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This thing about heavy police presence election is very, very necessary. Trinidad have all kind of things taking place, and people don't understand. Nobody knew 1990 what would have happened, and Trinidad was declared an Islamic Republic. Nobody was expecting that. So that is why we have to have heavy police presence. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula.
And I agree with that, Anne. We need to, and it's better we be prepared than we fail to prepare because you never know what will happen and what the outcome will be.
Okay, hello. Good. Let's take this call. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, the honorable ladies.
Good afternoon.
You ever hear the song by Sonnyman Abu Bakr, Take Over?
Yes, I played it
Gary
already
have
for you.
intelligence, you know. Remember, Gary said the leader of a political party was causing couture. Remember he said that,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Right. But what I called for, it have a fella named Fitzy. He was in the station Sunday, and he was streaming all over the place, right? In the couture. But what I called for, you remember when we set of fishermen, 7 of them died in Orange Field?
Yes.
He couldn't find the place. How we find the station so quickly? And that is walking distance. You take a little sweat and you could go down Calibre and Orange Field and things down the end. So I want to know if South of the Caribbean is trying to learn a little more about directions and things. If I was there, I'd let go some bull people from Mukesh on him, you know. Because I had to call him Mukesh and tell Mukesh I had to drop something because he was down there. At least go and pay respect. I mean, better late than never. No. It have a lady by the name Ramona, right? And apparently a lot of people down from her constituency want to bat for her. But I have to tell people, from my vantage, I believe there was a lot of shortcomings. You remember she was the shadow minister of tourism? A lot of people probably can't remember that, but she always in parliament talking about tourism. My take on it, she never developed from that because she never basically developed a relationship with Tobago. How many times she went in Tobago and started a bond with the Tobagonian? When you're in a position, if you want to go higher up the ladder, you have to basically, on your own volition, get the experience, do the hard work. So when you're called to ask if you want the position, you have already had the experience. That is my take on it, and I have nothing against her, you know. That is my take on it. She had 2 terms, and I believe that is enough. Bye, and have a nice day. Sorry to bash the lady, but I'm not really bashing because, you know, I'm calling all the honorable, and I'm calling she honorable.
Thank you. We welcome all Jews. 636-7547-227-5739. The lines are lighting up, Nicole.
Yes.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ladies.
Good afternoon.
Right, concerning this, they're calling them Vinny again. They're supposed to be calling them, they have other fancy name for them. They have about 60,000 here, and it's only now here they want to lock up being the driver of the car or the vehicle transporting them. And I ain't hear nobody get locked up yet. They're talking about this set that they find down there again. That is chick feed business. They here in van load and bus load and all kind of load. So when they say about 20 or 30. And when they take them from down Cedars and they carry them to Stovers Bay and they quarantine them, and we have to pay for that. They quarantine them, air condition and feeding them, and our people, Trinidadian people, who looking to get quarantine, and what they tell you have to pay for quarantine, ma'am. This is not right. Think about it.
Okay, thank you, sir. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome.
Yes, good afternoon, Anne.
Yes.
It's been a couple of days since I've called the program.
Mm-hmm.
Since Mr. Ali has left.
Yes.
Right. Somebody raised the issue with respect to a strong police presence on election day. And I would just like to quote something from one of the dailies today. The EBC officials also requested that the police assist election officials in ensuring citizens adhere to a request for masks to be worn and proper hygiene practice upon entering a polling station. Wasn't there a release by the EBC saying that there is no law saying that you must wear a mask? Hello?
Yes, I am listening.
Well, you're a journalist. Wasn't this in the news recently?
I can't recall. I really can't recall, but I can check it out for you.
Okay, right, yeah. I would appreciate that. And with respect to an earlier statement by Anne, she said that she can recall lots of promises made by the People's Partnership that weren't fulfilled.
Yes.
Well, I would just like to read from a document here which says People's Partnership Achievement 2010 to 14. And just one section, social services, increase minimum wage from 9 to 12.50, increase old age pension from 3,000 to 3,000 per month. I'll skip on a couple. And 5,000 lots distributed in 3 years under the Land for the Landless program, 4,000 leases handed over to former Caroni employees. And I would like you to just enlighten me as to some of the promises made by the People's Partnership that weren't fulfilled. I'd listen off here. Thank you.
Okay, well, every day on this program, to begin off the top of my head, I can tell you that ex-Caroni workers call in who have not gotten their plot of land, their agricultural plot,
and now you see she's saying, and now you see she's speaking about revitalizing the sugar industry. Yes.
And when it was there, you did nothing to fight for it. Hello, good afternoon, welcome.
Good evening, ladies.
Good evening.
I am calling from Couva North, right? Ramona Ramdial constituency.
Yes.
Yes.
I am calling from the Phase 2 Roystonia area, not too far from where you all are.
Okay.
And if you see the roads inside of here, and I've been, people have been asking them since the UNC was in power to do something about the roads. Nothing was done about the roads. If you come into the Roystonia area from Cali Bay, it's terrible, right? I've been talking and liaising with the, I live on a boulevard called Zircon Boulevard. And we've been asking them for some humps in the road because the road is a quarter-mile long road and people will be dragging on that road, speeding. So just some humps, and nothing was done. And I'm talking about since the UNC was in power, right? Talking to the councillor, Alan Taxi person, nothing was done. Okay? Right?
He have been one of the most complained about councillor.
Yeah.
And still people continue to re-elect him back into power.
Right? I don't know if they're waiting for Rowley to do it, but Rowley don't fix nothing south of the Caroni. He concerned with the 1%, the owners of the PNM. Okay? I don't know if you can remember when they called Patrick Manning like a little boy up in Goodwood Park and tell him calling the election to his second term in office. You remember that? You remember that?
No, I can't remember that.
So you can remember in 2010 when they call him up Goodwood Park? And
I wasn't there. How would I remember that?
Well, then the whole place catch Kamala Mania and Kamala come in power. Kamala was too, she was too frightened to implement certain harsh measures. Okay, I mean, she had about 29 seats. She should give the Caroni people the land and whatever, fix them up and conclude that.
That is not what people caught Kamlamania for. Jack Warner had revealed in Parliament the property that Manning was building for Pina.
Yes.
Yeah, no, up and down.
Okay, that is what caused it to tumble.
Yeah,
I would know because I who did the investigation for him.
Yeah, but still, you see, people south of the Caribbean, they suffer for basic things like water.
That
road.
photograph he revealed in Parliament, Manning started to preach from the Bible, and his government started to topple right after that. Check back your files. 636-7547-227-5739. You see, Nicole, I speak from experience.
Yes.
What I did.
Yes.
And you would remember Pina was Manning
for
see a woman.
Yes.
To put it in local parlance, that was his see a woman. And he had given her a lot of property.
Guanapo.
Up in Guanapo,
Yes.
And it was quite a task to get there. Hello, good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, welcome.
When politicians didn't fulfill their promises, everybody wants to know why. But I just had a little Zeppo. And the Zeppo say, if they didn't fulfill the promise, check in the pocket full.
But what mark you going to bet with that Zeppo? He left us. Zeppo is supposed to bet a mark with the Zeppo. 636-7547-227-5739. Remember, at 4 p.m. you have the 4 p.m. newscast with Sharon. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon, the honorable ladies.
Yes.
You'd believe our Prime Minister, the Honorable Ipman, will sanction the same set of people that Pompeo and them sanctioned in Guyana for railroading the election? Okay, I hope he do it and stand strong with the rest of CARICOM. Tell Grenier he must leave office. Go and have a nice
Well, that is yet left to be seen,
Yes.
whether or not Dr. Rowley will stand up. But he did stand with Mia Motley before.
Yes.
And he did go into the CARICOM group when they went to the meeting.
Yes, he did.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, I was cut off yesterday. I'm calling from the Cuba area. Right.
Roystonia.
Roystonia area, yeah.
Yes.
The Cuba main road is a mess from Isaac Junction to Savanetta Junction. Right, the UNC was there. They did not pave it. Of course, PNM will never pave it. When I say parachute in Tabaquite and places like the Naparima Mayara Road, right, is a mess. How come the roads in Goodwood Park and Glencoe and Alice Glen and Diego Martin and good? Kamala was busy fixing roads down there and building highway for them, and she neglected her people. Right? She may get her next chance to redeem herself. Okay. I was talking about the roads in the Roystonia Phase 2 area. It's terrible. It's terrible. You have to choose a pothole to drop your car inside. I mean, come on, Kamala. Don't play the suck up to these people in the East West Corridor. They have a lot of things that the people of Central and South don't have. A man lost 700 chicken. Anybody's going to compensate them for that? People house get blow away and move over. And I hear in a week time they get compensation. Right? The fortune of this country is not divided equally. It's only people on the East-West corridors get it, right? PNM closed down Caroni. They closed down the oil. They closed down the rice, the sugar, the citrus, everything. Everything we got to import. Just when we want a pimento, we got to import it through the 1%. My God, where we heading in this country? Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, Nicole, I have a little kitchen garden, and it feels so good that you could reap something that you plant. And every family should seek to do that. The way where food prices stand in this country and how expensive food is, every family should try and plant their own food. I mean, everyone cannot do it. They don't have the time to do so. Neither would those living in the HDC housing, and so they would not have the land to do so. But give and take, you should try and do some agriculture for yourself.
Yes.
So listen, in this time of uncertainty, I always call for greater emphasis on agriculture, which is why I was happy when this agro-processing plant was open.
Yesterday.
Yes, in Moruga. at Saunders Trace in Moruga, which will provide hundreds of jobs to unemployed persons in the area. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome.
I wonder, you have any idea what the Prime Minister went up there? He went up with a helicopter or Prado?
I wasn't there, so I can't
Because
say.
that road there, not to say, we are begging for the road to pave, but imagine they're supposed to be in government, right? And Lovell could not call Rowan.
Well, actually, I have been in the Moruga area recently.
Right. So Lovell could not call Rowan and say, Rowan, but you happen to follow the whole before the election.
Yeah, but I was impressed with some of the work being done there, caller. They have done a lot of work and fixed a lot of landslips and bridges and so on in the Moruga area lately.
It has some pothole in the road. It doesn't nothing to follow.
Well,
you got a truck. It pass out one day. It pass follow them. Just so I did the car suspension. Got a little less stress to handle the terrain.
So you'll have a less joking up. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I have visited the Moruga Marak area recently as a month ago, and I saw a lot of projects ongoing. Let's take this last caller before the top of the hour. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Anne.
Hello.
And good afternoon to the girl there.
Yes, she just
and
stepped
good
out.
afternoon locally, regionally, and internationally. Well, the Prime Minister conference last night, meeting, he said it had two people in corruption in his government. That is Shamfa Kujo and the Smith fella. How he name again?
Yes, Darrell Smith.
Darrell Smith, yeah. But you know, he never talked nothing about Marlene McDonald. No,
well,
he didn't talk nothing about that. He only say his government only have two corruption.
Well, that is left for you, the voter, to see.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah, okay
that is
then.
left for
You have a
to
great
decide.
day.
That is why our country has democracy. It's 3:59. It's time for the 4 p.m. newscast with Sharon. I'll be right back just after 4 p.m.
Time has come. New 97.5. Make it your choice. Something for everyone. 97.5 FM. Music for you. It's all about you.
97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper, Multicultural Radio.
Power to the listeners.
It is now time for Major News to the Hour, brought to you by Crystal Beverages Company, Super Quality Supermarket, Sheikh Elisha Limited, and the Trinidad and Tobago News Day.
This is the 4 p.m. news on U975 FM Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. I am Sharon Balrup. Good afternoon. The hunt is now on for approximately 150 Venezuelan nationals who are believed to have entered the country illegally. U975 FM understands that the search has been on since Tuesday. Police first received intelligence that a group of persons had come into the country at Beach Road in Santa Flora. However, when they arrived at the scene, they did not find anyone. Police were told that the group had been taken away in vehicles which had been waiting at the shoreline. They were given descriptions of the cars used, and at about 11 a.m., officers were able to intercept one car along the SS Aaron Road in Siparia being driven by a Trinidadian national. In the car, police found and detained 4 men, 3 women, and a minor. These 8 were handed over to officials at the Coast Guard, while the driver, who is from Central Trinidad, was taken in for questioning. 76 nationals are expected to return to this country this afternoon. This is according to National Security Minister Stuart Young. He was speaking at the Ministry of Health media conference this morning.
Today, 15th of July, at 4:20 p.m., so this afternoon at 4:20 p.m., we have 76 nationals returning from Grenada. 76 nationals. Out of those 76 nationals, only 4 are going to state-supervised quarantine facilities. So immediately you see that 72 nationals returning today go immediately into the state quarantine facilities.
Minister Young said as of Saturday, over 4,000 exemptions were granted.
As of Saturday gone, 4,515 exemptions were granted, and we continue to work. The main reason people at Trinidad and Tobago continue so far to avoid what we just heard Dr. Parasaram talk about, which is the local spread in Trinidad and Tobago, at this stage is due to the closure of the borders.
Trinidad and Tobago could see a return of its sugar manufacturing business. This is according to United National Congress leader Kamala Persad Bissassa. She promised that her party will revive the sugar industry in Trinidad and Tobago with the establishment of the Usine St. Madeleine sugar manufacturing facility. The promise is one of the UNC's 12 major prosperity engines intended to tackle neglect and abandonment of rural and poor urban communities. The UNC leader noted the establishment of this facility will see an end to the more than $300 million a year spent on the importation of sugar and sugar products since the closure of the Caroni 1975 Limited some 15 years ago. She said private investors will be invited to establish a new state-of-the-art cooperative sugar manufacturing company at Usine St. Madeleine. Small contractors have accused the government of not caring about their survival. The contractors claimed they have been trying without success to get the National Infrastructure Development Company to intervene and assist them in getting subcontracts on the Point Fortune Highway project. The contractors claimed that under OAS construction, at least 150 small contractors had gotten work on the highway then. After OAS abandoned the project, the government took legal action in the local and international courts to recover the close to $1 billion which had already been paid to the company for the contract. Fishermen demonstrated outside the Orange Valley Fish Market on Wednesday, calling for the return of Ramona Ramdial as the United National Congress candidate for Couva North. The UNC Selection Committee chose to replace Ramona Ramdial with Ravi Ratiram. The group of protesting fishermen assembled around 5 a.m. at the fish market bearing placards. Public Relations Officer of the Orange Valley Pirogue Association, Anthony Henry, said Ramdial did a lot for them. Henry said the UNC should not trample on the rights of its supporters simply because they are in a safe seat. Other fishermen said they had received tremendous support from Ramdial on several issues, including action when they could not fish because of an oil spill. You are listening to the 4 p.m. news on U975 FM Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. It's time now to take a look at regional and international developments. We start with news from the region. Regionally, in St. Vincent, customers of St. Vincent Electricity Services Limited will see a significant decrease in the fuel surcharge rate applicable on bills for July 2020. Vinlex said this month's rate is 21.12 cents per unit, the lowest in the past 4 years. According to the company, a rate of 21.1 cents per unit was applicable on bills issued in March 2016. The July 2020 fuel surcharge rate represents a decrease of 21.86% over the June rate, which stood at 27.3 cents per unit. Internationally, China has vowed to retaliate after the U.S. ended Hong Kong's preferential trade status and imposed sanctions on officials who cracked down on rights. President Donald Trump said he was acting because China had taken away Hong Kong's freedom after it imposed a new security law. We hear more from this BBC report.
And the Chinese government has told the Trump administration to butt out of Hong Kong. They're saying that these new sanctions against individuals, police, certain government officials who are said to have been undermining freedom in that city, they're saying these moves by the US are illegal, and that that this is one of the reasons why we set up this national security law, to try and stop this kind of international interference from other countries in Hong Kong. Now, again, Beijing has said that there'll be some sort of unspecified countermeasures. This is the same that's happened with all the other sanctions over the last few weeks.
That was taken from the BBC. And now for your weather forecast. For the period this afternoon and tonight, Trinidad and Tobago and the remainder of the Lesser Antilles, predominantly hot, sunny and hazy. Conditions will be interrupted by the odd brief shower. There is the low chance of a heavy shower or thunderstorm favoring western and southern areas of Trinidad. Tonight would be mostly hazy and warm. There is a significant concentration of Saharan dust present. Persons sensitive to these atmospheric changes are advised to take necessary precautions. Seas slight to moderate, waves up to 1.5 meter in open waters and less than 1 meter in sheltered areas. The current temperature is 30 degrees Celsius. And that was your 4 p.m. news. I am Sharon Balrup. Good afternoon.
That was Major News to the Hour, brought to you by Crystal Beverages Company, Super Quality Supermarket, Sheikh Leisha Limited, and the Trinidad and Tobago News Day.
Visit Eddie's Pharmacies Limited newest location inside JTA Supermarket, C3 Center, Current Village, San Fernando. They offer blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol and pregnancy testing, as well as all pharmaceutical products and over-the-counter drugs, along with CDAP prescriptions. Sagicor Caricare International Medical Card, Guardian Life Provider Card and Republic Bank points are all accepted at their 3 locations of Eddie's Pharmacy Limited. RS Building, Rosha Douglas Road, Barrackpore, GN Building in Pinal, and C3 Center, Current Village, San Fernando.
KY's Electrical Supplies Limited of Southern Main Road, Canupia, for all your plumbing and electrical supplies, water heaters, filters and water pumps, plus all parts for Gould, Pentax and Leo pumps. Choose from leading brands such as Cooper, Varma, BT Sino, Leviton and General Electric. Call 665-6954 for more information. KY's Electrical Supplies Limited of Southern Main Road, Canupia.
It is back. Talk Your Talk is back. This is Mukesh Baburam inviting you to join me right here on U975 FM for the return of Talk Your Talk from 6 to 9 p.m. Enjoy your favorite segments and feel free to make your comments as we journey together. So join me, Mukesh Baburam, for Talk Your Talk.
Join us on the journey to the polls. Find out about the candidates, the campaigns, the promises, and much more. You can now listen to your daily dose of politics, Mondays to Fridays at 1 p.m. right here on U97.5, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio.
The following is a paid political announcement.
This ad brought to you by the PNM.
PNM is the choice, PNM is the voice, PNM only way on election day is the right choice at the right time.
On August 10th, vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
That was a paid political announcement.
Kathy's Cool Spot Enterprises Limited, number 86 Pearville, opposite the TSTT Exchange in Mayaro. We specialize in all types of meats, dry goods, liquor, beverages, ice, LPG, gas, motor oils, stationery supplies, and photocopying. We also provide rentals of tents and chairs for your every occasion. Come in and take advantage of our specials at reduced prices on liquor, wholesale, and retail. We are open every day, even on public holidays, for your convenience. TT Post services are available here at Kathy's Cool Spot Enterprises Limited of number 86 Pearville, Mayaro, where our friendly staff will be happy to serve you.
KY's Electrical Supplies Limited of Southern Main Road, Canupia, for all your plumbing and electrical supplies, water heaters, filters, and water pumps, plus all parts for Gould, Pentax, and Leo pumps. Choose from leading brands such as Cooper, Varma, BTCino, Leviton, and General Electric. Call 665-6954 for more information. KY's Electrical Supplies Limited of Southern Main Road, Canupia.
Puzzle lovers, rejoice! Your free 24-page Newsday puzzle book is now available twice a week, only in your Trinidad and Tobago Newsday. Now you really can look forward to staying home. Newsday, independent and credible.
Hello, I am Rajendra Ramprasad, your PNM candidate for Couva South. I ask for your support to take Couva South into government and to improve the quality of life for all of us. I have specific plans to create jobs, to improve agriculture, to revive Point Lisas, and to develop our infrastructure, also to enhance security. As a person born in Dow Village, California, and started my education at Esperanza Presbyterian School, I want to use my years as a successful businessman and a resident of Couva South to partner with you to make our communities better. I ask for your vote on August the 10th. Vote Rajendra Ramprasad, the right choice for a better Couva South. Vote PNM.
Just 15 minutes after the top of the hour, and that time check is courtesy Mr. Rajendra Ramprasad, the Couva South constituency candidate for the People's National Movement. Remember, on August 10th, to come out and cast your vote. That was a paid political announcement. To those who are joining us on YouTube Live, youtube.com, it's RCLU975. Or you can join us on a traditional radio band 975 FM. Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Anne.
Welcome.
Hello.
Yes, you are live on the air.
Good afternoon, Anne.
Yes, I said good afternoon.
Right. First of all, I'm very glad Mr. Ali is not there. I'm very glad for that.
Go ahead. Go ahead with your contribution, sir.
My contribution to Mr. Ali was too stupid for one man.
Oh, boy. Sir, don't call and bash anyone, please. Don't call and bash any individually, and don't call us, please don't have any personal attacks against each other on this program. It is a program to better Trinidad and Tobago in this time of uncertainty, in this time of campaign promises. I am here to listen to your cries. I'm here to keep you informed, to help you feel empowered, and I am playing a role in the battle for the soul of this nation. Please do not call and bash anyone or any individual. 636-7547, 227-5739. You can call in if you wish to air your views on any topic of the day. I see at the Tobago Hospital, Nicole, there's a lot of bio waste being piled up. I wonder what happened to the contractor there. Doesn't that fall under the THA, the Tobago Health Authority? And they
Tobago Regional Health Authority.
Yes. I wonder, and so much money have been allocated to Tobago.
Yes.
And yet you have an unhealthy situation like this where bio waste is being piled up in Tobago. I wonder what would happen after that. They would dump it in the sea. And
Good
then you have
question.
pollution and then with the spread of coronavirus, you wouldn't expect at a hospital this would happen. Let me just give the figures globally for the coronavirus pandemic. The total number of cases globally is 13,405,694. Deaths, 580,552. In the United States alone, you have 3,465,031 coronavirus cases, 136,940 deaths. We in Trinidad and Tobago are indeed lucky.
Very fortunate.
And yet people are still calling for the borders to
That's
be open.
it, and they're complaining and they're making issue. But think about it. We have persons, a lot of our citizens are in the United States. Who
Exactly.
knows who will have it and who would be bringing
Especially in areas like New York and Michigan and these Florida. You have a lot of Trinidadians living there. And if they were to reopen the borders, what would happen? Are you willing, citizens,
are you
to
willing
go
to
back
risk your
under
life?
Risk your life and go back under lockdown?
Yes.
How many of them?
Some of them probably enjoyed quarantine too much.
They probably didn't miss
Well,
the doubles
actually, some
that
of them-
much.
Actually, some of them did, and because if you had listened to the Ministry of Health press conference sometime last week, Dr. Sirju Singh had mentioned that they're looking for a spike, an increase in births in a few months' time. So,
I know
so we
you're
see
going with
some
that.
people enjoyed
They
quarantine
enjoyed
a
being
bit.
quarantined. Yes. 6367547 2275739. Call us in if you have an opinion you wish to voice on the current political climate. I was trying to reach that St. Augustine PNM candidate. That is Miss Renuka Sagram Singh Suklal, but her phone is going to voicemail.
I have not seen her yet. I'm
is-
a constituent of St. Augustine. I have not seen her yet.
So she would be a candidate in your area.
Yes.
Hello,
Yeah.
good afternoon. Welcome.
Yeah, good evening again. If the UNC win this general election, I would like Ms. Kamala Prasad and the UNC to see about especially the people of Central and South Trinidad, right? With basic things like water, roads, clean drains, box drain. It is a Columbia box drain government, but we have places that need box drain, right? Things like that, infrastructure work, right? Too much of rural neglect, bridges, all kind of thing have been broken down. Places like Tamana, forgotten areas. PNM would not fix the once Westmoreland and Glencoe and Bayshore and then good. The hell was with the rest.
Why is it when a government get into power that they neglect the middle class?
They neglect their own.
Especially the PNM. The UNC does do some work Central and
But
South.
yeah, but the UNC is guilty of that as well. That is why I could point out it.
And they, you know why they will do that? Because they know that they can go
Yeah,
into an
they vote
election and their votes are sure. So
It's
they will
assured.
go. So they will go to the areas where they will want to win the
because
vote, and that's
Kamala was
what the
fixing
problem
up.
is.
Go ahead, caller.
Kamala was fixing roads in Diego Martin, good roads in Diego Martin, paving good roads on the East-West corridor. Okay, what about the people down here? As I said, the roads from Isaac Junction to Savalan, it's in a terrible, it's in a terrible way. It's in a real terrible way.
Claxton Bay is always flooding.
Yeah, flooding and all kind of thing. People get nothing. Only people ever get anything. What I heard about is Greenville. Right, people on St. Helena, Las Lomas.
Yes,
You have the sea backing
Mayaro.
up down there at Claxton Bay by the
It
port.
wasn't for corporate citizens, people like Ian Allen and this fella from the Bamboo and all these fellas.
In Shan Ishmael.
Yes.
In Shan. I don't know if he's still good enough for St. Augustine.
Nothing on that yet. We have not been hearing anything.
Well, I think he should refrain and give the UNC a chance, right? I mean, Kamala gave him a lot of stuff and help them out and so on. But he still like he want to go and vote for the PNM. It's like Kamala is half a loaf and PNM is no bread. Won't you rather have a loaf? PNM has no bread. Right? The only people laughing all the way to their bank is the 1%. Right? Okay, later.
Thank you. Something to think about there, Nicole. 636-7547, 227-5739. Remember, just at 4:45, I have the Economic Forum beginning for 1 full hour with Ved Seram. Former CEO of Citibank will be joining me live in studio, where you can call in and discuss the economics of the day with him.
And I want to say something, and I know people are going to get upset with me, but these people in these areas who are in these strong areas, for example, in Central, they voted for the partnership in the last election.
Yes, in 2015.
Right. And they would have, not 2015, 2010.
10, yeah,
right?
10, sorry.
And they would have gotten poor representation because they're saying that they were neglected, that, Mrs. Prasad Bisasa, under her regime, they focused in places like Diego Martin and Laventille and all these areas. And yet still, in 2015, they went back and they voted for the same representation. So then why complain? You had a choice, and you didn't even make the decision to say, well, listen, stand up. I am not going to vote for you because you never represented me. Let me try somebody else to see if they will represent. And that's the problem. And then they would complain and say, this was never done and that was never done. But really, when you look at it, you are responsible for the person that you put there.
We are our own worst enemies at the end of the day. We get what we deserve.
So stop complaining and use your finger to do the right thing. Now, I'm not campaigning here. I'm just saying, vote for the proper representation, where you think you would get proper representation. And if the current representation is not working for you, then you need to try something else.
They complain about the iceberg after the ship has hit the iceberg. And we find that everywhere that you go.
Yes.
636-7547, 227-5739. Let us hear this caller here. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ladies.
Good afternoon.
You must be one happy man. You live in Chaguanas West.
Well, as soon as I hear this girl speak, agree with them. Who was talking about Chaguanas West? What's her name?
Yes, Chaguanas West, Nicole.
Chaguanas West.
Jack Warner, the possibility of Jack Warner fighting that seat. That is his boy. How many of you there are like that?
You know, this morning I was talking to somebody. After I say I'm going to go to PNM, and yeah, I can't take on the here speaking again because so is the case. And you know, I was so shocked. This man I was talking to, you know, he telling me the amount of people in Chaguanas West still waiting for their land to carry me. I said, you waiting for land? I said, well, the people get on it in Chaguanas West, like them get it in the one on it. He said, no, all the land on the Carrie Savannah Road, they don't give nobody no land and thing. I said, what? I said, so wait that. Well, we got to vote UNC again to see if you get the land. He said, no, he ain't voting. So you're right. I also tell them that we stand up and we take all that and we go back and we do the same thing again.
Exactly.
And that brings me back to this Muslim boy, Omar TNT.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Rashid Karim.
He living down here. He know everything. Anything I'm not telling him, he know. He know who got dead, who got live, who poor, who got this, who got that. And he have the authority to tell Kamla to give the people a land. He actually not diplomat. When you could invite the opposition leader or the prime minister to come in our center to sit down with our set of people and say, I support you. You have the voice to tell her right there why you give the people their land, why you give them the candidate, why you know what he said? He said he talked to the people in Kuvanot and they like Eritrea.
Well, he did say that.
In Chaguanas West. This is my problem in the area that you're supposed to talk about, and you so good with the opposition. She offer you the seat. She offer you a consultancy. She offer you the seat. But you're the only one going around and saying you're supporting she. And the answer on the other side say, you know what he's talking about this. You understand? So we want, but I am telling you, I'm very sorry. I didn't get my land. I will continue paying my rent for my land. They didn't change the agriculture. They didn't amend the agriculture bill and whatsoever, and this and that and the other. Fine. But you're not going to get my vote. At no time at all. If I vote, you're supposed to get from my house, you don't get none. So I'm very sorry. Later.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Karim is the UNC's central coordinator for the election, so
Yes.
he would be out and about throughout Central.
Let's hear this caller here. Good afternoon and welcome.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I called earlier on with respect to the EBC making an appeal to the police commissioner
Mm-hmm.
for them to assist in ensuring that people wear masks. Now, I would just like to quote from an article in the papers of July the 6th. EBC head, voters without masks can't be blocked. Now, let us look at election day. If police are there to ensure people wear masks, isn't there a contradiction with respect to what the EBC is saying with respect to what the police is saying they're going to do?
Well, I saw that report when the EBC sent it out that they cannot stop people from voting if you don't have a mask.
Right,
but for your own safety, they have asked you, yes, to wear one.
Right, so assuming that I decide to
Not to wear a mask.
proportion to the win,
Yeah.
and I enter a polling station,
Mm-hmm.
and the policeman is now insisting on I wearing a mask, what should I do? Wear a mask.
Well, if you want to vote bad enough, you will wear a mask.
No, but there's no law preventing.
There's no law preventing you from
Yes.
voting.
Uh-huh. You see, when
There's
we
a
allow,
contradiction there, yes.
Yeah, when we allow little things like this to go by, bigger things will take place. Now, I'm not advocating that.
I know you don't wait on the day for it to happen.
Yeah, you understand. But with now the EBC asking the police to ensure that people wear masks, what situation are they creating on election day? Mayhem. Because there would be people who would not.
There
adhere
would
to
be
the-
people who would be voting haphazardly, yes.
Yeah, you understand. So I think as a journalist, your station should advocate for clarification with respect to polling day and wearing a mask. I know your station has connections, and these connections can probably clear up this issue for us as voters. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Right, thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, Nicole. We will have to get some clarification on that.
Yes, we
Well,
will.
Griffith did say there will be a strong police presence for election, and he intends to have visible presence of police officers across TNT to deter incidents of intimidation, voter suppression, bribery, or illegal canvassing on general election day. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome.
I think EBC club that already. But to be sure, ladies, I advise you to let us call EBC and find out better more about it. Right?
Yes,
BBC
that's an
said-
option
they
too.
said
You can
they,
call.
They
Yes.
said they cannot stop anyone from voting. It is
It's
not
ju-
the law.
yes.
But they advise you to wear a mask. Now,
Yes.
do you really, on election, they want to go through a long process, a long legal process? Would you want to do that? Hello, good afternoon. Welcome.
And good afternoon.
Go ahead.
Hey, officer, in charge of police, eh? The presiding officer in charge of police.
Yes, go ahead.
So what about you? If the person want to vote, you can't say vote. Police can't say no. The presiding officer is the police boss. Understand that?
Yeah, we heard you.
Yeah, man?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Go ahead. Okay, he is saying that the presiding officer
is in charge of the
He
police,
has the
yes.
authority. Well, yes, the presiding officer would be the person in charge of that voting,
The polling station.
polling
Yes.
station on that day. 636-7547, 227-5739. Call us in. And to those of us who wish to log on onto YouTube, you can log on onto RCL U975 FM. Okay, or you can log on to the traditional band of 975 FM, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Anne.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
And to make a long story short about this mask,
Mm-hmm.
and before I have any problems, wear a mask and done with everything.
Well, this is
To
what
make
I'm
it
saying. Do you
easier,
want to go
yeah.
through a long process to argue for a mask when you
Yeah,
could
because
simply
Sergio
walk
had
with a
lunch,
mask?
You know, man. And I want to change the program for 2 minutes, if it's okay.
Go ahead.
Now, the dispensary in San Fernando,
Mm-hmm.
it's a main place, right?
Yes.
And people from Barrapo goes there, people from Couva, wherever.
Yes, it's a general hospital, so it is a
Right.
main source.
Right. And I want to know why. A friend called me and tell me this.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to know why that they said when people go to the dispensary there, they wait until they reach there, then to tell them you have to go to Princestown
Oh,
Health Center.
because they don't have the drugs available.
But and these people are educated people who is in authority. They talk a lot and they bump their gums a lot. Why can't they say it over the television or the air? Well, you know, all who have to get eye drops, who have to get medication, don't go at San Fernando. They have old people older than us, you know. And down at Princestown is not an easy place to get to that health center. It's way out of the way, you know. So I would like to know what is going on, and I would like to know why the Minister of Health cannot do this thing proper. You know, people have to go elsewhere. You have to allow them to know, well, so by so. Don't wait until they travel, they hustle, and go down there, and then to know you have to go elsewhere.
I
know, that
agree
is
with
my-
you. I understand what the lady is
Yes.
saying, Nicole. You
Yeah.
have pensioners and sickly people who
Very old
probably
people.
Yeah, they cannot probably move by themselves. They may have to
Yeah.
hire a taxi to get there. Surely the pharmacist could inform the doctor, well, we are out of
That's right.
we are out of drugs
Yes.
for diabetes, or we are out of drugs for arthritis, or so
Or
on,
and-
high blood pressure or whatever, as the case may be.
Or and to make it easy, they could tell them go to their district authority, like
yeah,
the
their-
health center.
their
Why
local
you send
district health
people-
facility.
Yeah, out of the way they have to take 3 taxis, 4 taxis. I find that is really absurd. Okay, Anne, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Yes, I always find that to be out of timing.
Yes.
That elderly people, particularly, they have to travel and get there.
Sometimes they hire a taxi with a little pension and
Yes.
all these different things, you know.
I hear it. I hear them complaining, and then at the end of the day, they don't get the drug.
Yes.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome.
Hi, ladies. I won't call any names or say anything that will put anybody in danger, especially myself. But you know, it's so easy for an elderly person when they go to these health facilities. The person behind the desk, if you're out of the medication, they just have to pick up the phone and make a phone call to another facility to see if they would have it. They could do that in any one of the entities you go to in this country, but they'll never do it. They want you to take a taxi and go to another facility and be told they don't have it. Very rare.
That is human empathy. Do we have that in this country?
Skill, I tell you something, it breaks my heart when I see elderly people line up and they say, I had to come here because I couldn't get something in the other place, so I'll come here now. And I say, why didn't they call for you? Why didn't they make arrangements for you? But there's no empathy, and it's a kind of callous coldness. The other thing I want to say was, it was the perfect storm for the PNMS. Right before COVID, the Prime Minister's rating was bottom of the barrel. Bottom. He shut down Petrotrin, lied to the whole country. The union was in shambles. Then he keep making up lies after lies. Oh, we're going to sell to the union. We're going to do this for you. We're going to build this. We're cutting back. We save $1 million from a $100 billion project. We save $1 million. All of these things are happening. But you know what saved him? COVID. And it didn't even save the man. You know what happened? He was led and guided by CARICOM. He dragged his leg down CARICOM. For years, they never wanted to be part of CARICOM. They jet setting all over the place. In fact, there was an article written by a Japanese student who interned in Guyana. And the person wrote a scathing article, and they say when they were there half the time, 90% of the time, people who worked on the CARICOM trying to bring it together with jet set, travel, live the high life, and never have meaningful meetings. That is what they do. And you know, this whole thing with COVID saved the Prime Minister. He got to dip into the stabilization fund. He got to fool us with money, saying, I'm going to promise to help all of you. You have to stay home now, because we had to stay home. It was mandatory. You know, we didn't know the level of the virus. There was no testing. One minute we had 3M giving us thousands of masks. Nothing happened with 3M. You know, all of these lies. And you were hearing all these grants they're going to give out. We were so happy. People so poor, and they're praying to get a few dollars in their pocket. Nothing came. And now guess what? They're giving out grants for art. You could write a book, you're going to get a grant. You could make a video and dance in the beach, you could give you a grant. You know something? How is this lifting us and building a country? What is frightening, I'll tell you what is frightening, is the power the police have in this country. And I'm leaving it right there. It's frightening. Thanks.
Thank you. I better start writing a book, Nicole. Get a grant. It's 4:38, and you can call us in on 636-7547, 227-5739. We have just a couple minutes again with Nicole before Wade Searam steps in for the Economic Forum. Nicole?
Well,
you were listening to the Prime Minister speak earlier.
I was listening to the Prime Minister. He was talking about Petrotrin and, you know, all the offers that they had to buy Petrotrin and who was the suitable candidate. And, you know, along those lines, I still have to listen to the entire speech.
But everything was on UNC.
Well,
on the UNC's neck. Well, it is the season for it. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Nicole. Yes, oh, nice to hear from you. I thought you went Venezuela with a boat.
No, I wish.
And disappear. I thought you disappeared on us. I haven't heard you in a long while.
I listen to the radio.
Oh, you listening? Okay.
So we was in a meeting to the relocation in the wharf now.
Oh, okay.
That's in San Fernando. How did that go?
Not to the best, but to the right, I say.
Why you would say not to the best? What were the shortcomings?
Well, they want to relocate the fishermen. They want to build things for them and rule them, but some of us tell them, let me get it in writing. We want Salim Gul.
Yeah, you want some assurance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said no, the amount of writing. You want things in writing, they move them to China, they have that.
So did the fishermen agree to move?
No, they have to move.
Okay.
So we have an explanation again, and they decide what to do.
Okay, understand.
So, nice young ladies. And 2 rupees, then?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll let them here in the morning, too.
Okay, thank you for calling.
Thanks for the information as well.
That's the fisherman from Claxton Bay. He represents the Claxton Bay fishermen. Thank you for calling us. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon, and good afternoon.
Hello, Chris.
Good afternoon.
You know, I'm listening to the concerns whether the EBC or the police have the authority to tell people wear masks or not wear masks. The EBC has its regulations. Their role is to ensure people coming to the station that they're given their ballot paper, that they're able to cast their vote in a particular way, and that is their responsibility. If you walk in the police station and you decide to spit on the floor, the EBC can do nothing. No EBC person could charge you, but a police officer could charge you for littering. There's a difference in the role of the police officer and the EBC staff. The EBC is right to say there is nothing in their rules that says I could stop anybody from voting because they don't have a mask. But the Ministry of Health could say, look, if you're not wearing a mask and you put a danger to the public, we could have you removed. They have that right, and they could have that power extended to the police. So there's no question as to whether the police can stop you or not stop you. The overlap of saying that the EBC don't have the authority, we agree. The EBC don't have that in their regulation. They don't have it in their mandate. But the police have a mandate, which is quite different to the EBC. If the police don't have a mandate different to the EBC, what are the police in the police station? Police officers are put there to preserve the peace. The EBC is not there to preserve the peace, they're to conduct the business of the election. Thank you very much.
Thank you. 4:40, you have just about 5 minutes to call in again on Politics 2020 for this afternoon, for today, Wednesday, before we begin the Economic Forum. Let's take a short commercial break and we'll be right back.
For all your plumbing and electrical supplies, water heaters, filters, and water pumps. Plus all parts for Goul, Pentax, and Leo pumps. Choose from leading brands such as Cooper, Varma, BTCino, Leviton, and General Electric. Call 665-6954 for more information. KY's Electrical Supplies Limited of Southern Main Road, Canoopia.
Visit Eddie's Pharmacies Limited newest location inside JTA Supermarket, C3 Center, Current Village, San Fernando. They offer blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, and pregnancy testing, as well as all pharmaceutical products and over-the-counter drugs, along with CDAP prescriptions. Sagicor Caricare International Medical Card, Guardian Life Provider Card, and Republic Bank points are all accepted at their 3 locations of Eddie's Pharmacy Limited. RS Building, Rocha Douglas Road, Barrackpore, GN Building in Pinal, and C3 Center, Current Village, San Fernando. School Spot Enterprises Limited, number 86 Pearville, opposite the TSTT Exchange in Mayaro. We specialize in all types of meats, dry goods, liquor, beverages, ice, LPG, gas, motor oils, stationery supplies, and photocopying. We also provide rentals of tents and chairs for your every occasion. Come in and take advantage of our specials at reduced prices on liquor, wholesale, and retail. We are open every day, even on public holidays, for your convenience. TT Post services are available here at Kathy's Cool Spot Enterprises Limited of number 86 Pearville, Mayaro, where our friendly staff will be happy to serve you.
This is Samaru Ramru inviting you on a journey down memory lane with enchanting songs on the program Nightline, Mondays to Thursdays, 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Let your heart sing along with the music on U975 FM, Hot Like Pepper, Multicultural Radio.
The following is a paid political announcement.
This ad brought to you by the PNM.
PNM is the choice. PNM is the voice. PNM, only way on election day is the right choice at the right time. Hands in the air for the police. Hey.
On August 10th, vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
That was a paid political announcement.
"15 minutes before the top of the hour, you can still call in on 636-7547 or 227-5739. If you wish to get in on Politics 2020, it seems as though our Economic Forum candidate is running a little bit late. I'll pass you over to Nicole here to update you on the update from the Ministry of Health today.
Yes. So at today's media conference, I just wanted to give you a synopsis of what was discussed. Minister of Health Terence Yal Singh announced that Trinidad and Tobago will be allowed equitable access to COVID-19 vaccinations when they become available. National Security Minister Stuart Young, he said that this afternoon 76 Trinidad and Tobago nationals are scheduled to return from Grenada, and out of that 72 persons will be housed in quarantine facilities, and the remaining 4 will be allowed to enter state-supervised quarantine. State-supervised quarantine refers to persons paying for their own stay at a hotel and quarantine under the state's supervision. That's just 2 key points because I saw, yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Nicole.
Okay, thank you.
And thank you, and have yourself a wonderful evening.
You too, Anne. And
get home safely.
Same to the listeners of U97.5.
Okay. We have in studio with us now Ved Seeram, who will be joining us shortly, but let's hear this caller first. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ms. Annie and the other lady here. All
Yeah.
the listeners and
Yes,
callers.
Ved Seeram is here.
Beg pardon?
Mr. Seeram is here.
Yeah, well, I would just want to make a point.
Go ahead.
A gentleman came up and make a point about the Elections and Boundaries Commission cannot tell you to wear a mask.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a part of their mandate. Then he come back and he tell you the police can make you wear a mask because of the Ministry of Health ordinance. But I like to say this. The only person can allow you to wear a mask is the President of the country by proclamation on Carnival, what you call Juve morning, 4 o'clock, until Carnival, Tuesday night, midnight, because a mask could easily change your identification to the police or the public or anything like that. And they should try to define, it's not a face mask, it's a nose aspirator, a mouth protection, or an eye goggles. They should try and make that clear, because no one can tell you to wear a mask but the president. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Welcome, Ved, and good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Anne. Good
Thank you
afternoon,
for joining
listeners.
us on the Economic Forum. I see our callers and listeners, they are anxious to speak with you. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome.
I just want to make a comment on what our friend just said there.
Yes, about the mask. Go ahead.
You see, the idea of a mask, and he's right. Technically, it's a mask for carnival. That is a change in the whole appearance. That is a disguised form.
Mm-hmm.
But the word mask used here internationally, not trying to be good, throughout the world, is saying you wear this on your face that blocks out the air to breathe, so that any bacteria in the air, any virus in the air would not be able to affect you. And it's used internationally as a mask that you are wearing. So to say it's not a mask, but okay, go and tell Donald Trump, tell the Americans, tell the Europeans that what people are wearing is not a mask. It's a device to protect your nose. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Where do you have an opinion on that? We're talking about wearing masks for elections, whether the police can force you to wear it when it is not the law.
Well, I can just make an observation.
Yes.
Because our life seems to be focused now on discussing masks. And I think there's too much preoccupation and actual effort and discussion and a lot of it's affecting sales and so on. And I think that the World Health, WHO, I think they gave a statement. I'm not too sure, but that's the report I got, that the mask and so on, they've overdone it for 5 months. So because the WHO, this is a new strain of virus, and nobody really has the full handle on it, you know.
Mm.
So we are guessing as we go along, but I think we can discuss the impact on GDP. We can discuss the impact now on innovation, and I think Trinidadians are very innovative with design of masks, and I think there's too much effort being placed on it, and it's not doing us any good, and it does not add to the well-being of society. In fact, in China there were some children that were forced to wear a mask and they were exercising, and a few of them died.
Mm.
So you know, we have not even studied the quality of masks, that we are just making masks and putting it on without realizing
the impact.
Does it meet particular standards? And should there be any standards for masks? And I don't want to say more about it. I really don't want to say. There are too many other pressing issues to deal with.
Let's hear this caller. Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon. I want to thank Mr. Zaid for speaking correctly, because I think the World Health Organization, they're confused just as we all are. But I'll tell you something. You have to wear a mask. And Zaid, you tell me if I'm wrong and correct me, because we're talking about volatility now and economics. You know Venezuela is not going to give up. And now the governments in the United States and other countries are saying that Venezuela has become Africanized, the Africanization of Venezuela. When I say that, I mean that African, we're talking about sub-Sahara Africa and the military rules that hurt people in a country. So we are heading to live next to a country that is like that. And what is happening in Guyana is really terrible now. There's going to be sanctions now on Guyana. The United States now is interfering with this because democracy is also being shaken there by a guy who is also a military leader. He has a military background. And we are in the middle. And our prime minister will never take a stand, never speak. He just sits there and watches and listens and leaves us to be. It hurts all of us. He could build the agri center, whatever. But I feel just from what is happening around us, we are not prepared for what to expect with trade later on. And Paula Gopi-Skundi MP has done nothing. Nothing. She has done nothing, and in Trinidad manufacturing is the same thing that's happening over and over. It's like Groundhog Day. You always wake up and every day is Monday. Thanks.
Thank you. Wade?
No, we ought to be concerned as to what is happening in Venezuela, as well as I think the issues with regards to Venezuela is nothing new. I think we have to be very cautious how we manage that relationship. I always believe that you have to be very careful as to the friends you make. And I think people are waking up to it now, that they're dependent on China for so many years, not recognizing that it's quite frankly a communist dictator. India also moved towards being friendly with China under the BRICS arrangement. That's Russia, Brazil, and India and China, and they're now they're stepping back from all of that relationship, and they ought to have known before. And this is why I felt that the agreements, whatever extent that had reached with Venezuela for the gas, would not have worked. And even if it had started off well, even if production came on stream, we would have been walking on eggshells, because any time that could have been disrupted for many reasons. We cannot ignore America's influence on the world. Whilst they are actually waning with regards to their economic might, they still have tremendous military might as well, and we can't ignore that. What has happened in Guyana was so unfortunate. At least the political parties have something to fight about, and I think that was why I would call it a tremendous post-election battle took place, and I think it has come to an end. And the very idea that the U.S. have put on sanctions on the individuals just shows how serious it is, because being one of the possessor of one of the largest oil reserves in the world, obviously is going to attract international attention. So we have to watch it very clearly. On the other hand, I'm not too sure what our political the parties are fighting for, because we have a huge void. It's a huge liability that they are fighting for, and I hope that whoever gets their wish with regards to forming the next government, that they fully understand the implications for themselves and for the country, because it's not a case where they are going to inherit a treasury that is filled with cash and they can do as they please. Quite frankly, it's just the opposite, and it has been made worse by the wild expenditure by the government during this particular season. And I heard a previous caller saying that COVID has been a blessing for them for now, but assume PNM gets into the wins the next election. Let me tell you, there'll be no other funds to dip into, and what are you going to do when the banks, international and local, say, look, we have reached our limit with regards to lending to Trinidad and Tobago? What are you going to do as a government? And at that point in time, we have delayed taking decisions over the last 5, maybe 10 years. We have delayed taking decisions to swing around this economy away from oil and gas and create a soft landing in some other agriculture and other sectors that could have sustained us for the foreseeable future, but that was not done. So now we are in a very, very fragile position. In fact, we are bankrupt. I keep saying that over and over again. And bankruptcy is the evidence of bankruptcy is when you can't pay your bills, and government has not been paying their bills.
We have a number of callers here. Let's take some calls. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ann and Mr. Firam.
Good afternoon, sir.
Mr. Firam, he passed this government collecting over $750 million in VAT returns. Can you tell me where this money went to? Because they didn't have it. They had to take from the HSF to pay the people that they owe this money. I wanted to know what happened to that money they collected.
Okay, let's take another call. We lost that call. You want to answer it?
Yeah, I think they paid out some 300 and some million in VAT return, and I think they also issued some bonds to settle the balance. So I'm not sure about the 700 million that
Let's hear this caller. Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon again, and I think Mr. Shiram is so very right about we have to really take cognizance of America's influence and might, especially in the Western world.
Okay, thank you. Fade?
Yeah, coming back to the VAT, my understanding was that they paid out 3 to 400 million on VAT returns. So they account for that, is that they just paid it out. So that's one part of it. And the second part, I think they settled by way of bonds. They gave these people bonds, which is not the right thing to do. But that having been done, I think it was a very reckless on the part of government to give people bonds. When they want liquidity, they sell the bonds to the commercial banks and insurance companies and so on at a discount. So therefore, they lost money. So I don't know about the 700, but I'll be glad to be educated on that.
Let's hear this. We lost that caller. Well, it's just about 5 p.m. Wade. Let's take a commercial break, and when we come back, the Economic Forum is up next. Stay tuned.
Time has come. New 97.5. Make it your choice. Something for everyone. 97.5 FM. Music for you. It's all about you.
U97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper, Multicultural Radio.
Power to the listeners.
A&S Hardware and the General Contractors Limited of 107 Bonaventure Road in Gasparillo for all your hardware materials from foundation to finish. Not forgetting all your general contracting needs. We have it all at A&S Hardware and the General Contractors Limited, located at 107 Bonaventure Road in Gasparillo. Just call Tiki Ali at 650-2180.
A&S Hardware are wholesalers and retailers of plywood, an assortment of lumber, galvanized pipe, hollow section, and steel. Customers can enjoy special prices on white pine and pitch pine doors.
Visit Eddie's Pharmacies Limited newest location inside JTA Supermarket, C3 Center, Current Village, San Fernando. They offer blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, and pregnancy testing, as well as all pharmaceutical products and over-the-counter drugs, along with CDAP prescriptions. Sagicor CariCare International Medical Card, Guardian Life Provider Card, and Republic Bank points are all accepted at their 3 locations of Eddie's Pharmacy Limited. RS Building, Rocha Douglas Road, Barrackpore, GN Building in Pinal, and C3 Center, Current Village, San Fernando.
This is Samaru Ramrup inviting you on a journey down memory lane with enchanting songs on the program Nightline. Mondays to Thursdays, 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Let your heart sing along with the music on U975 FM, Hot Like Pepper, Multicultural Radio.
It is back. Talk Your Talk is back. This is Mukesh Baburam inviting you to join me right here on U975 FM for the return of Talk Your Talk from 6 to 9 p.m. Enjoy your favorite segments and feel free to make your comments as we journey together. So join me, Mukesh Baburam, for Talk Your Talk.
The following is a paid political announcement.
This ad brought to you by the PNM.
PNM is a PNM power. PNM, a positive healing power. PNM, moving forward together. PNM, introducing Rishi, my brother.
All of we is one family. All of we is one family. Working together to build this country. When the world was breaking, everyone agreed. When the world was breaking, be happy it was seen. And that is why we voted for our country.
On August 10th, vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
That was a paid political announcement.
Just about 3 minutes after the top of the hour here on U975 FM, Hot Like Pepper, Multicultural Radio. It's the Economic Forum with Ann Duki and Ved Siram. I have a number of topics to discuss with Mr. Siram, but I see the lines are lighting up, so let's give preference to the callers first. Hello, good afternoon.
Good day again.
Welcome.
Yes, good day, sir.
This government has said they want to collect $16 billion in taxes from the population and businesses. Do you feel this is a feasible exercise? Because I'm seeing a lot of businesses closing and a lot of people going home. I want to know if this can be thought out for the public, because if you do that, you just have more unemployment and more people going home. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that is my major concern, is that the government, no one is discussing that government has to reduce its headcount and reduce expenditures. And it is my estimate that they will collect probably less than 30 billion next year. In fact, even that might be a far stretch. And the question arises that if they don't reduce expenditure, you're going to go into another $20 billion in deficit. And the other question is,
frightening.
How are you going to finance that $20 billion? Because you've crossed the limit in terms of your borrowings. You've crossed it.
Let's hear this caller, Ved. Good afternoon.
Good evening, Mr. Duki. Good evening, Mr. Siram.
Hello, Eric.
Good
Mr.
evening.
Siram, it
Yes, sir.
must have missed you, but Mr. Embert was at pains to say that the bonds paid to persons for VAT returns, he had checked with the finance houses before, and they were dollar on the dollar encashable. This is not to sell at a discount, right? So that was good in that part. I mean, it was bad that they had to borrow the money.
Could I address that before you go to the second point?
Yeah.
Normally, the banks will give the assurance to the government, don't worry, we'll buy it at 100. Okay? But in actual, if you go and check it out, most of the times it is sold at a discount. So let us leave that open, and we'll,
okay, well, you are the banker, so I'm not fighting with you.
no, you don't have to fight with me. But I will tell you, they'll tend to go along with whatever But I beg the question. It would have been far easier if the banks were going to buy the bond at 100. They could have bought it directly from the government. It would have simplified the whole process, so that there'll be one seller and a few purchasers, right? And then the government would have received 100 cents on the dollar and then distribute the money to the different. Because many of these contractors, they're not too familiar with bonds, And then to go and negotiate, the bank could tell you come back next week or what, or I can give you 95 cents on the dollar. Another one might bid 96 cents, and so it was a messy, I would call it, arrangement that ought to have been avoided, particularly when the minister said, "Look, he has been assured that they will buy it at 100," and that's I don't know. It's a fantasy.
My second point.
Yes, sir.
Venezuela.
Yes, sir.
Now, we know for a fact that we can't do anything in Trinidad without gas.
Yes, yes.
Venezuela, we tried to work with Dragon Seal, but because of the whole U.S. sanctions and all of that, we could not have done with Dragon Seal. Fortunately, we shared Manatee and we've shared Manatee Field, Lauren Manatee, with Venezuela.
Yes.
And we were able to negotiate with the Venezuelan government to agree that we would develop Manatee on our own, which is now in train. The minister has promised us that within the next 36 months the gas would be on shore, which is good. So the whole question of Venezuela and Venezuela relations, my position has always been, we live 7 miles away from Venezuela, and we should always try and live good with our neighbors. I don't know about this thing about invasion of Venezuela and sanctions on Venezuela, because at the end of the day, we know that there has always been a problem with the Chavistas and the U.S. government, and that is going to continue. And the situation is right now is that the U.S. government does not want anyone with any semblance of Chavista in their bones in government in Venezuela. But that problem would have solved already, because their position is there must be elections in Venezuela, but Maduro must never contest. That's the idea. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Well, I think it's a lot more complicated than that. But I agree with at the end of the day, the American will seek their economic interests. So therefore, that influences cannot be ignored.
Let's hear this caller, Wade. Good afternoon and welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone there.
Good afternoon.
You Mr. Vig, I'm sorry to tell you that you're an oppressor, just like the PNM, oppressor.
I'm what? Sorry?
An oppressor? Okay.
All
Hello,
right,
good afternoon, welcome.
The U.S. is not an oppressor, because they're not going to play no more games. This is real stuff going on, and people just writing it off going on as usual. The United States will put an end to this because Guyana is very important. They have major oil companies right now digging up the oil, getting that oil out there. And that is so important for Trinidad and Tobago, because we've got the hydrocarbon and they want to push the renewables. The renewables is owned by the energy company. All of them own those renewables. They are the ones who bought out all that data. I spoke about this before, and it's in the news. So I think this is why the Prime Minister is very quiet, because you have very major business going on out there in Guyana right now. And the United States has an election coming up where it is funded by oil and gas men. And they control a lot of hydrocarbons. And they have enough oil, And England right now and Europe, they on their own, they go do what they have to do, because they're now moving away from coal, and they are investing heavily in the oil industry because they want the renewables to happen. So they have a stake here. But you see, the problem we have, the Prime Minister would not disclose all of this to us in a coherent way. Because when those companies come here, you have to partner with an enterprise from the government. And our government sets up shell corporations and business, and they bring in people. I can say this because you can review the history. They will bring their friends and they will give them jobs. and things will continue as usual, and they will check off another box saying that we're doing great, and our hydrocarbon is creating jobs, even though we know the jobs will not be given to we poor locals. This is what we're going to go through, and I think, Mr. Vade, you understand how the oil industry works. But hydrocarbon is very, very big now. And don't let them downplay that. There's a lot of money at stake in this next election. And you better believe other countries are betting money on who the next leader of Trinidad and Tobago will be. They bet money on this, you know. That is my comment.
Okay, thank you. May you have a response to that?
Well, I think the question of hydrocarbon and so on, we are a very small player in the world. When you look at the cost of extracting and processing our natural gas
yes.
and crude is very high compared to other countries in the world.
How does it fit into the global economic trend? I see you wrote about that this
well,
week.
Well, we have to rely on other players in the game to keep the oil prices above a certain level.
So we are still heavily dependent.
Well, we are at risk. We should recognize that we are at risk. Tomorrow we can slapped off the face of the table. And we saw it the other day when oil prices went negative as a result of conflict with Saudi Arabia and Russia and so on, that drove the prices down overnight. And therefore, we have to recognize that, look, let us enjoy the benefits of the oil and gas whilst we can.
Mm-hmm.
Let us see how best we can add value locally. Let us see how very urgently how we can diversify this economy so that we can have sustainable jobs and so on. So could I address the point? Somebody called me an oppressor, and that's very interesting.
Yes, very interesting. They say you're an oppressor. You're just like the PNM.
Well, I feel very elated. I didn't realize I had such influence on
such
people.
Impact on people's
but
mind.
I'm really so sorry to hurt anyone. It's not my intention.
It is the truth. You are giving them the plain truth as it is.
Just as an analyst, I'm looking at it. I'm not trying to look at it from PNM.
You're not trying to depress anyone.
You know,
you're giving people the facts.
Yeah, so I mean, it's very very easy solution. You just
Wade has been a financial consultant probably for longer than I have been.
30 some years.
I have been in this career.
Having gone through the 1980s, I would call it a depression, a long depression. Let me tell you.
Yes.
And then also
So you speak from experience.
And then I was a teenager during the time of the first one we had. I recall was in the late 60s. It was very, very bad.
Well, you know, you give the blatant truth, and that guy is depressed. Let's hear this. Let's hear some callers here, Vade. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome.
Yes, if I remember correctly, when I first encountered you in this program,
yes, sir,
I got you to agree that it is necessary that they have property taxes, and I got you to agree that there should be.
I never.
You didn't agree on that?
I never agreed on that. Never.
Did you agree that it should be a revenue collection authority?
Not at all. Not at all.
So there shouldn't be one?
No.
So why would they call you an oppressor? This is strange.
All right, you're batting for me. I'm grateful.
But listen, Mr. Siram,
yes, sir.
Let me say this to you.
Yes.
If we continue along the path where the number crunchers in Central Bank and the IMF and World Bank keep telling you that you are having this leakage of almost $15 billion a year, that's untenable.
Well,
and it has to be attended to.
Yeah, I have solutions for that.
And if some proven solutions came out of places like Jamaica and Canada and so, why wouldn't we try it?
Yeah, you know, each country, and that's what I keep saying, each country must design its taxation system to suit the peculiarities of that country.
Of the economy.
Yes.
Let's hear this caller before you continue, Vade. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sierra. All that Eric is bringing is fine, these guys. I was watching last night on CNC3 where they was talking about these payway and the illegal gambling of it, and no government has gone after these people who were involved in this illegal gambling with payway, because it's a multi-million-dollar fiasco where somebody making money and it's somebody at the top shaking hands with those individuals. In fact, they were saying that one person owned at least 100 of these illegal payway outlets in Trinidad. And I wonder if you can't touch these people, right? who doing these mischief and they're any opening up because they're not hiding. Why it is you can't touch them and you want to go after secret property tax. This is a reasonable thing. But you can't touch these illegal entities. This is more corruption in this country, and I think if we can interfere with these people, we ain't going to solve the problems at all, Mr. Siram. Thank you.
Thank you, Veda.
Yeah. As a society, we have to decide whether we need that type of industries, gambling. We have to decide, and the intensity of it in Trinidad is all over the place. And we have legalized it in many ways with Playway, and government is a huge part of it, and casinos and so on. And we have to say, okay, I would call that, I wouldn't quite call it a sin industries, but it's certainly in that direction. And we have to decide as a nation, do we now go back to basic making things that can actually fall on your foot? And we have to decide that is in terms of manufacturing, in terms of agriculture, what type of society we want. Now, what has happened is that debt meaning to say the borrowings by the government, the borrowings by the private sector, the borrowing by the household, that is what is keeping this economy alive, and that is very, very fragile. And you're seeing it United States now, that they have moved the debt to over $26 trillion. When you look at $26 trillion over revenues, I don't like to use debt to GDP, which is a bogus number. And the callers among us would think about it, and it just doesn't make sense. You just need an average intelligence to know debt to GDP doesn't give you a limit as to what a country can borrow. Is what debt you can take on that you can service. Can you even pay the interest? That's the first hurdle. Can you pay the interest? Now, if you look at America, which data is more easily available, and we can look at it in Trinidad as well, with $26 trillion in debt, and it's growing because there will be a second, what I would call, what has been called helicopter money, second tranche, and they're saying that will be lower than the first tranche to address COVID-19. So at 26 and maybe by 30 trillion by the end of this year, $30 trillion government revenues is $3 trillion. That is 10 times their revenues. And out of that, if you that's why they also sort of manipulated the market to pay zero cost interest. In other words, like in Japan, they pay zero cost. In Germany, I think they raise a bond where you lend the government and you have to pay the government interest. In other words, negative interest rate, which does not conform to simple logic. If somebody is making an investment, they require a rate of return. So in the circumstances with regards to America, your income is $3 trillion a year. Your loans itself is 30 trillion by the end of the year. Out of that, you're still paying something in interest. Let's say even 3%. 3 on 3, that's about 900. 10% on 30 will be 3 trillion, and let's say 1/5 of that. So we're looking at about $500-600 billion in interest alone. So if you are earning 3 trillion and you're paying $5-6 billion, that's a huge amount of your earnings just going to service the debt. That's the interest alone. And at some point, interest payment will overwhelm your revenues, and then effectively that the government now, with regards to Trinidad, we cannot even make the interest payment. We have to borrow money to make interest payments. And that's a definition for insolvency.
It's 5:19. You can call in if you wish to get into the program on 636-7547, 2275739. Remember, you can also WhatsApp your comments on 378-4975. I am in studio live on the Economic Forum with Ved Siram, our financial consultant. Ved?
Yeah, I just want to make an important point and let the nation know that we have a large chunk of our investment in the HSF in equities in the United States. And I don't know if you recall, some time ago, the Minister of Finance said, look, we lost about 700 million, but then we picked up 500 million. And you have to ask the question, should we be, and this is a fundamental question, given the volatility of the financial markets these days, should we be in the equity? Now, if you answer that question, the prudent answer at this stage is that because of the volatility and the uncertainty in the equities market, we should get out of the equities market. In other words, liquidate. And we have to be brave to do that, because many of the advisors will say, hold on, hold on, hold on. And the 2008 crash, that when a lot of investors found out they lost all their money, it will be too late. If it was the private money of the Minister of Finance or the Prime Minister or let's say the opposition leader or anyone in Trinidad, they can do as they please.
But it's the people's money.
It is the people's money, and as a principle, there must be what is the policy and what are the triggers that will make you invest more in the equities market, or what are the triggers that will make you get out of the equities market. And I'm saying very, very clearly to everyone, we should not be, this country should not be investing any money in the equities market at this point in time. There are other forms of investment like the bond investment, money market, short-term investments and so on. But get out of the of the equities market at this point in time. That should be the mandate. So I don't know why, of course the minister, because the market now is artificially influenced and is rising in spite of everything else around it crumbling. And therein lies the predicament, is that the Wall Street, the equity market, is not representative. It ought to be, but it is not in general representative of what is the true economic state of the rest of the United States of America.
We're speaking about global economic trends before the callers, but let's hear this caller first, Wade. Just hold a second. Hello, good afternoon, welcome.
Yes, sir. For some time now, we've been talking about a financial center in Trinidad and Tobago. When we started initially a long time ago, we didn't talk of Lehman Brothers before they went under and a lot of different things.
Yes.
If we gave Siram the opportunity and we say, Siram, you are in charge, create a financial center in Trinidad and Tobago, what would you do? I'll listen.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I would not waste time on that because we have no competitive advantage. If you notice now, you don't need brick and mortar to establish a financial center.
So true.
And they require a tremendous amount of incentives. What are the incentives? Zero tax. What are the other incentives? Don't worry to pay for gas. Don't worry to pay for water. Don't worry to pay. And I don't know if you remember, I think Vasant had encouraged some foreign banks or something to establish a service center in one of our complexes. And that's because we had virtually zero cost electricity. They burn a lot of electricity on these back office businesses. But quite frankly, we are late in the game for a financial center, and we do not have the infrastructure even to support that kind of infrastructure. If you notice, we have something under the leadership of Richard Young. They are losing money. Every year they lose money. One year they dropped the budget of 12 million. I say thank God. The next minute went back up to 24 million. And what are they doing? What are the benefits they bring to Trinidad? No, they are just exporting our subsidies. So I don't agree with any financial center. And what really drives the financial sector is all these what you call as a tax haven. And any time that could crumble, as we saw with Cayman, when America is watching all these people with all these tax havens and so on, and say, wait a minute, this should not be allowed to continue. When Enron went bankrupt, and they did the final analysis, they found Enron was just not paying taxes at all because of all these tax havens abroad. And I don't think we want to build an economy based on what I would call it certainly transactions that are very close to tax evasion.
It's 5:23. We have to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, you can join us back on Politics 2020.
Join us on the journey to the polls. Find out about the candidates, the campaigns, the promises, and much more. You can now listen to your daily dose of politics, Mondays to Fridays at 1 p.m. right here on U97.5, Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio.
The following is a paid political announcement.
This ad brought to you by the PNM.
PNM is the choice, PNM is the voice, PNM only way on election day is the right choice at the right time. Hands in the air for the police, hey.
On August 10th, vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
That was a paid political announcement.
KY's Electrical Supplies Limited of Southern Main Road, Canoopia, for all your plumbing and electrical supplies, water heaters, filters, and water pumps, plus all parts for Gould, Pentax, and Leo pumps. Choose from leading brands such as Cooper, Varma, BT Sino, Leviton, and General Electric. Call 665-6954 for more information. KY's Electrical Supplies Limited of Southern Main Road, Canoopia.
Puzzle lovers, rejoice! Your free 24-page Newsday puzzle book is now available twice a week, only in your Trinidad and Tobago Newsday. Now you really can look forward to staying home. Newsday, independent and credible.
Hello, I am Rajendra Ramprasad, your PNM candidate for Couva South. I ask for your support to take Couva South into government and to improve the quality of life for all of us. I have specific plans to create jobs, to improve agriculture, to revive Point Lisas, and to develop our infrastructure, also to enhance security. As a person born in Dow Village, California, and started my education at Esperanza Presbyterian School, I want to use my years as a successful businessman and a resident of Couva South to partner with you to make our communities better. I ask for your vote on August the 10th. Vote Rajendra Ramprasad, the right choice for a better Couva South. Vote PNM.
We are just about 28 minutes after the top of the hour, and we are discussing on the Economic Forum the financial and economic stability of Trinidad and Tobago during this 2020 general election campaign. Wade, you wanted to speak about the financial center?
Yeah. I think there was great promise for Trinidad and Tobago to be the financial center for at least the Caribbean.
Yes, for CARICOM.
Yes, and in fact, in the I left the bank in 1998, and I started a consultancy with a colleague, and that's what I've been doing since. But when I left the banks took some of the structures I developed for very specialized clients, multinationals and so on, and they began to peddle it, and there were tax angles for those particular bonds, and they began to peddle it for governments, and you don't sell tax products to government, but they disguised it in such a way that the government felt very relieved that they don't have to repay principal and so on. But what they did was that they deceived many governments up the islands, including Dominica, into Antigua, as far as Belize, and the Trinidad banks, particularly Royal Bank. All the documents are there to show. Citibank was part of that as well, and they really deceived these countries and lent them money. They themselves didn't actually do the lending. They arranged money. With bonds, you arrange it and you sell it off to other investors. And they also deceived the investors with regards to the actual the collateral on those bonds. And most of them actually went into default, and many of them ended up in the courts. So Trinidad itself, they soiled their own name with regards to becoming a financial center. They soiled it. There was one, someone reported to me that one of the Royal Bank managers was giving a talk at a seminar in the UK, and he raised the issue about the innovations and so on. And this was none of their innovation. It's something that I personally had put together. But they were boasting about the innovation and how much bonds they had raised in the Caribbean. And a guy from Belize reminded him, he said, how can you talk about the benefits you have brought to the Caribbean when in fact you have bankrupted many of the countries in the region? So he had to keep his mouth quiet. So I think this is a false start to believe that we could have developed a financial center in the Caribbean. Although governments repeatedly said that they're going to do it and they've pumped millions of dollars towards it, and I think that was all wasted money.
Let's hear this caller, Wade, or we lost you. Continue to call us in, listeners. 636-7547 or 227-5739, like this caller here. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Siram.
Good afternoon.
Can you tell me if the main importers of food and agricultural products is done by the 1%?
Okay, before you answer, Wade. Hello, welcome. All right, we lost that caller.
Yeah, what has happened if you look at the history of importation in Trinidad, in the 40s, 50s, 60s, there were remnants of the plantation section of society that dominated the importation. When Mr. Pandey and they came in, I think the market became free up, particularly with regards to importation of foreign used cars and so on. And then, the technology has become so easy now in terms of importation. So a lot of the food has been, the importation has been spread throughout society. Now, with regards to the 1%, we can only imagine what precisely that means. But the large conglomerates and so on are still a major importers of food. But you will find there's a second tier that has developed in Trinidad, and they don't have to be located in Port of Spain, but they're located throughout Trinidad, who have been doing their own importation of rice, importation of sugar, importation of flour, importation of pulses and so on. So I think it's fairly well distributed, so I don't think it might be accurate to say that the bulk of the importation resides now with the 1%.
Let's hear this caller here. Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Siram.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, Siram, welcome again.
Thank you.
It was nice hearing you.
Thank you.
Mr. Siram, I remember as a little boy, we had a thriving cocoa and coffee industry, citrus industry, coconut industry. And now we are talking about agriculture. The question is, how did we, who allowed this to be lost? We importing oil from somewhere in South Africa, and we had a coconut industry here. We had CG, Coconut Growers Association. We had CG, Citrus Growers Association. The first time I went to Canada, 1976, and I walked into the Dominion store, I saw Trinidad canned orange and grapefruit juice sold there. So what has happened to us as a people? And we keep talking about the 1%. Anybody see opportunity will take opportunity. What have we been, what does our government have been doing to help to stimulate our economy, to show our agriculture, to keep our people employed in a very sustainable way and feed ourselves? Thank you, I'm listening.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a common problem with any country that has one dominant export, from which earnings can actually support the rest of the economy, and they call it the Dutch disease. So it's nothing new. That happens around
ever
the
so
world.
often.
Yeah.
Let's hear this caller here. Good afternoon, welcome caller.
I have a question for Zaid, and I want to hear his comment. Zaid, I read that the Trinidad and Tobago Manufacturers Association and a few of these very high-level businesses, they say that a lot of those people who are importing, and you say that there are people who are the vendors who are importing products into this country, they are asserting that these people who are importing products that does not stand up to quality. It means they were never inspected, there's no copyright, these products are substandard and it doesn't stand up to the with the level that the products that they would bring in, the ones who comply with all the rules and regs? That was my first question, eh? And our copyright law is kind of very weak. My other question was about the education system, and do you think that we will be ready to open the schools even in September, October, given the size of the classroom and the number of students that have to be taught in those schoolrooms? That's my two questions. Thanks.
Thank you.
Let me answer the second one as I remember.
First.
Yes. Yeah. With regards to the school, I think they'll be guided by WHO. Whether that guidance is appropriate or not, I've seen evidence that a lot of the guidance are questionable. But at some point, when you don't use things, it is just more difficult to restart and very expensive to restart. There'll be a lot of objections with regards to opening it once COVID-19 is raging around the world. So, however, the longer we take to open it, quite frankly, there's no harm in my view of trying it out, and if there's any runaway infections again, just close it back again. At least you would have tried. And that's what they've done in many states in America. They've tried it out because people are clamoring.
I see in Philadelphia this week schools have been reopened fully.
Right?
Yes, fully.
Okay. So to say whether they'll be ready in September, I think there's a very good chance because we have closed the borders, and the advice from some quarters are saying, look, we don't have any community spread in Trinidad. Why is this a problem? Secondly, we are seeing conflicting decisions being made that you don't have a problem opening it up at the beaches, but you have a problem in other places like the bars. So I think there's been a lack of consistency. Hopefully, I mean, this is really something very new to the world. Nobody's going to get it 100% right. In India, they thought they had it under control, but now it's still raging in certain states, but other states it's coming down. So let's see what happens. I feel there's a good chance of it opening, and quite frankly, if there is a spread subsequent to that, I would not hold the government accountable for the simple reason we are dealing with an unknown. But I think it would be a fair expectation. Let it be open, monitor it closely, and make sure we take whatever precautions.
They would have tried.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the first question, just remind me of the first question.
It doesn't come to my mind right now, but I have a question for you. Okay. The financial implication of this pandemic. It has only just begun.
Well, let's look at it in context, and this is where I feel that the government doesn't have a long-term view on it. We said, okay, we're going to spend about 10, 15, 20 billion dollars in phase one. First of all, that's all of that is
the government bailouts were bandied about. Give and take that.
Yes. All of that assumed that within 3 months things will settle down.
Yes.
So we have to look at another 3 months. Where is government going to get all this money?
This is what I'm asking. They were bandying about the bailouts they were getting. They didn't cater for it to last this long.
I would have spent the money separate. I would have made sure that you open soup kitchens, make sure every society, every community has at least access to 1 or 2 good meals for the day. I would have not giving out money, but rather food itself.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, taking care of the homeless, make sure that there's some shelter provided so that the community spread and so on don't start off in that direction. With regards to mortgages and so on, you can just ask the bank to give some relief, but that's about it. At the end of the day, that the impact of this COVID-19 could be serious. And
at the end of the day, you have more and more businesses that are closing.
But they were closing even before. So now we cannot be giving money to businesses that do not have a chance to survive.
Right.
And hoping that they will pay employees to do what? Pay employees to do what? What we should have been spending on is plowing the land, preparing the land, and a rainy season come, we should have a second committee deciding what to plant and where to plant, because depending on soil type and so on, and say, look, there's work available in agriculture, and let people go out. It doesn't matter even if you're a suit and tie guy who's a white collar worker, At the end of the day, if you have your family to feed and you have a chance to look at to earn some money because government cannot underwrite the economy in this country. They cannot underwrite. Countries like Norway that has a huge, massive savings over the years, they can still run for a year or 2 years.
Their nest egg have been well saved.
But we have nothing. We are using it out very fast, and then what? There'll be chaos in society if people are not fed. And I think that is where in New Zealand that they have the food feeding program, not school, for
food.
The general public.
For the public.
And if you see long lines of cars just to pick up a box of food. In New Zealand.
Yes.
And that's an agricultural society.
Society, indeed.
Right? But what are we doing?
That's where we get all our milk, cheese, and butter from.
Years ago, when Mr. Manning said that, look, he's going to open soup kitchens, we all laughed. But I'm telling you, it is urgently required now. Do not give. You can use the NGOs to some extent, but somebody has to monitor them to make sure that delivery of actual food, the physical delivery of food, is being done for these people. So, there are several religious communities, even in the United States, that they are actually feeding people, and there are long lines and people in the SUVs lining up to collect.
Well, today someone told me that people with Prados are lining up at JTA with food cards.
Okay.
Right? Because they are now unemployed. So they have to depend heavily on government handout. And they have their Prados.
I think this is where we have understated the extent of unemployment in Trinidad and Tobago. Unemployment. And as we saw in previous recessions, when top executives are let go, they actually still get up in the morning and put on their tie, bathe, put on their tie, do whatever
they go through the process.
Yeah, they go through like a ghost.
It's a mental infection that they have. Let us hear this caller. Good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon. And long respond now, you have people drive up with the Mercedes Benz and Prados and present their food card.
Really?
There's something going on long time.
They anticipated the situation.
Yeah, they have people designer jeans, brandishing food cards.
With $1,000 shoe and they with food cards.
The problem here is corruption. And
you cannot,
when Mr. Shiram speaks, he's speaking about things from the grassroots level up,
Yes.
Doing things that basic things, back to basics. Keep it simple, stupid. Back to basics and start from there. All this thing about we're going to share out money. We're going to share money. Where is the money coming from? I always say, when we take loans, when we come and we say, okay, we're selling bonds, we have to pay it back. And we are boasting to paying interest on bonds here, while countries all the world charge you to keep your money. You have to pay for the bank to keep your money, and we say, no, you bring it, we pay your interest. So something has to be wrong with our thinking here. Thank you much.
Thank you, Wade. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot the question.
He was speaking about people in brand name sneakers and so line up for food cards long time. Because the unemployment rate have been increasing.
Well, dramatically increasing.
I learned today, I was speaking to a businessman today, and he said he can operate his business with minimum employees, so why hire back the rest? During COVID, you had to have a shift system and minimum employees. Why hire back the rest? Why is he going to go back through that?
Well, they would have made adjustments.
They would have adjusted and realized that they can function with minimum employees.
Exactly, but when you're unemployed now, the first question, are you getting some kind of compensation for that unemployment?
Well, that's another question.
Probably not. While the state was promising A, B, and C, the amount of effort and expenditure you have to make with regards to filling out forms and following up and so on is perhaps more costly than what you're going to get back, 1,500 and so on, right? Government, unfortunately, they have not adjusted their expenditures significantly over the years as required. In fact, it has been bloated maybe for the past 15 years. Government has just been growing and growing. I don't know if I heard correctly, but the Prime Minister said that if the new government, UNC, comes in, they'll have to get rid of about 98,000 persons.
I didn't hear that. I will have to check that out.
Yeah, okay, but a significant amount, he said. So if it's a huge amount, that can't be the total of all public servants.
Well, WASA alone is overemployed, Reid. We know by the last Minister of Public Utilities, not Fitzgerald Hines, the one before that, Mr. LeHunt. He had admitted that WASA had over 2,000 employees.
In excess, yes.
In
That
excess.
is true.
That is known. So is TN Tech and such state companies. They have employees in excess.
Yeah, I don't agree with privatizing certain things, because as soon as you privatize, you have to add on a rate of return to the new investors, right? And the price of utility just
it will go up.
Yeah, France is a typical example where they had privatized most of the water, and prices increased so much that people are protesting in the streets now with regards to water rates. So we have to be cautious, but I think a state enterprise can still operate these institutions in a very efficient manner and cost effective. So it's subject to, there are two things requires. One, that management should be left to manage the business in the best way possible and not be I would call it a cesspool for political employees, right? That's very important.
Yes.
And secondly, management, when they give the budget, let it be discussed now in Parliament and approved in Parliament, and so that we can monitor how well they against specific benchmarks in terms of cost per gallon of water or so. So I think that certain things should remain in the hands of public and in the hands of government. I have no problem with that, but what is going to happen because of the scarcity of money now? Government is going to cut back. They have to cut back on subsidies. If you have reached your limit with regards to borrowing, if you have no more assets to sell. There are a few assets around. I heard somebody said they can sell off FCB. Yes, you can. They can just sort of restructure. They have about $8 billion
They have investments in Republic.
In shares in Republic. That is securing loans of units of $4 billion. I think that was a silly arrangement. They should not have done that. But maybe it's a good thing in the sense you can still now unwind it and pocket about $4 billion in your hand. The problem here, though, is all that money is going to meet recurrent expenditure and not investment in productive investment that will bring in revenues. And therein lies our problem.
Listeners, you're tuned into the Economic Forum on U975 FM, hot like pepper, multicultural radio. We have just about 8 minutes again on the program. If you wish to call in, 636-7547-227-5739. You can call in and express your views. We are discussing the economy. We are discussing global economic trends. Wade wrote an article this week. Yes, you didn't get a touch on that.
Yeah, I wrote an article, Global Economic Trends and the Impact on Trinidad and Tobago. And I looked at two areas in particular. One, the development in China, what is happening there, and what is happening with regards to the Chinese relationship with the rest of the world. Listeners may have known that China has become very aggressive with regards to expansion, and some of the lands that they are known to have occupied, such as Tibet, such as the Western China. That's where the Uyghurs are. That's where the Muslim area, Eastern
Before
Turkestan.
you continue, let's hear this caller. Good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yes, welcome to the Economic Forum.
Well, I have a little economic thing I want to ask.
Go right ahead.
Is that big?
Yeah,
Little?
with regards to China now being targeted as the originator of the virus itself, so there's
just hold a minute, caller.
So there's strained relationship, but we can take the call.
Go ahead.
Mr. Siram, I want to know, do you see a devaluation coming?
Do you see a devaluation coming?
Yeah, our money.
Okay, listen off here. He's asking Wade if you are seeing a devaluation coming for our money.
Yeah, well, put it this way, our currency has been overvalued for many years now. And to decide to diversify the economy, you cannot diversify it. In fact, it's very, very difficult to diversify an economy with an overvalued currency and an open access to US dollars. You cannot do it.
Let's hear this caller. Oh, we lost you. 636-7547, 227-5739. Listeners, you can also WhatsApp your question on 378-4975. Wait, go ahead.
Yeah.
You always speak about we having an overvalued
currency, and IMF has said it, World Bank has said it, all the economists when
why don't we see it?
Well, we don't want to see it because it'll make everything expensive.
Expensive, okay. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Could you all put me up to date what happened in Guyana? Thank you very much.
Hello?
Hello?
Could you repeat your question?
I said, can you all put me up to date what happened in Guyana, the latest development?
Okay. He's asking the latest of what happened in Guyana.
Well, I just got a message. I haven't confirmed anything. But two things. I think the courts have agreed that the opposition party will form the government.
Yes.
That has been confirmed, right?
That have been confirmed.
Right. And secondly, that the United States have put sanctions on not the government or not the country, but certain names, including Granger.
Granger, yes.
So that's a major development, I could tell you. And it's unfortunate, but that it should have
that it
come
had
to
to reach this level.
Yeah.
And tarnish his name.
Well, let's hope there's no violence in
Guyana.
In Guyana.
Of course. Just a couple minutes, 5 minutes again on the Economic Forum. Callers, hello, good afternoon, welcome.
And just me add to that, I heard Mike Pompeo issue a statement telling Granger hand over power. Do you get me, Sachiram?
Yes, sorry, could you repeat the question?
Mike Pompeo of the United States of America.
Uh-huh.
Telling Granger to hand over power.
He said to Granger, hand over power.
Okay, let's hear this other caller before you answer. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Sriram.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Miss Dookie, Anne.
You think and the other lady, if she's still there.
Anne.
Let me come to the point quick. You think the U.S. government only waiting for after nomination day or this general election here to put sanctions on some of the government ministers? You know, at that point in time, I don't think they will be able to replace a candidate. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay. One person asks about Mike Pompeo giving instructions to Granger, and the other one is asking about after the election.
That's an interesting question, but I don't think we'll come to that.
Hello, good afternoon, welcome. Hello, are you there? Okay. Evade?
No, those are interesting questions. I hope it doesn't
Trinidad
happen.
doesn't get to that
I
position.
I don't think it will.
We have always been a civil society.
I wouldn't bet my house on it.
Regardless of which party is in power.
Yeah, because I think with regards to Ghana, I think if you notice it went on for several months.
It's a different level of society there too.
No, not just society, but the events.
Yes.
That took
it dragged on.
Yes,
it dragged on.
It dragged on, yeah.
They didn't deal with it head on.
Yeah. And it was certainly the evidence of election interference and so on.
Well, among everything else, we did not get to touch on the article that I just wrote on. Yeah. We will perhaps speak about it another day, but I will send it to you and you could review it. It's on the economy, and does election boost the economy? Let me get a brief statement on it. Does it boost the economy?
It does, for the simple reason that's how we measure. But I keep saying that all of this goes into services, and a lot of it is wasteful.
Wasted, yes.
Yeah? But it does boost the economy, because when you look at GDP as measured by GDP, it's a combination of expenditure by household, by government, and by the corporate. So if you borrow money and spend, the borrowing does not factor in to the calculation of
the
GDP.
Money, yes.
So you can borrow a lot of money and spend on GDP, and if you spend it on, let's say, wasteful items like digging holes and filling it up again, that nothing is produced. So
I like that. like they're paving over the dog.
And that's what we measure. Mismeasuring the true economic growth increase. And that's where I'm very concerned about the lack of or the
transparency
or the rigidity of economists in dealing with these things as if it's cast in stone when they say GDP increased by 0.1% and so on. So what? What does that mean?
Explain it to the ordinary man.
Yeah, does it mean to say I as a citizen, my wealth has gone up by 0.1%?
Yes. And do I have to pay 0.1% for my account?
And there's such a reliance on these figures, which are in some quarters are.
Mr. Imbert have become accustomed for that statement, debt to GDP ratio.
But that's another bogus ratio. If your denominator is bogus, then that ratio is also bogus.
Obviously.
That's simple maths, right?
Yes.
We need to recalculate.
You don't mean to be an oppressant, but those are the facts.
No, but those are the facts, and I think ultimately, if it's when we actually wake up to reality, and many of the countries are looking at their happiness index.
Mm.
In fact, a lot of European countries, and these are international rating agencies, rate countries according to their happiness. And where did they take that measurement from, or the example from? Was a small country, Bhutan, which has about 400,000 persons.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the northeastern end of India, Bhutan. And they don't calculate GDP at all. Anybody who wants, and there's so much land with just 400,000 persons, anybody who wants a piece of land, they just go to the king and their wishes will be granted.
Oh, what a nice place to live in.
Education 100% free, medicine 100% free. And they do not allow more than X amount of tourists come in a year to preserve. And by law, 60% of the land mass must be forested.
I'm an environmental person, so I will support that. Okay. Listeners, you have been listening to the Economic Forum. If you have missed any part of this interview, very thank you for your time. And I know you have depressed some of the listeners when you speak of the reality. But I know, yes, it is the reality. It is the fact. We see more calls keep coming in, but we have to end the program now for the 6 p.m. newscast with Sharon. And just after that is Mukesh Baburam on U-Talk. I am Ann Duki. Have yourself a wonderful evening. Rejoin me again tomorrow from 3 to 6 p.m. on Politics 2020.
The following is a paid political announcement.
This ad brought to you by the PNM.
Sign my name with a golden pen, a golden pen. Sign my name, sign my name, yeah. Anyway, we vote in PNM. Sign my name, it's a PNM pen, a PNM pen, a PNM pen. I want you sign my